watching Rogers TV.
You're looking live inside the Sleeman Center here in downtown Guelph. It's Friday night Ontario Hockey League action right here on Mark Wilson's Barrie Used Cars Guelph Storm Hockey on Rogers TV. I'm your host, Isaac Carmichael. Well, the Oshawa Generals come to town to face off against the Guelph Storm. We were here 7 days ago for the home opener. The Guelph Storm overtook the Erie Otters 5-2 behind Hunter McKenzie's 2-goal performance. So look for much of the same here tonight as they look to rebound after a loss back in the saddle in Barrie on Saturday. And they'll be facing off against a very hungry and short-handed Oshawa Generals team. A team looking for their first win of the season. And they'll be looking to get some help as Zachary Sandu coming back into the lineup, as well as Owen Griffin, as a laundry list of players for the Oshawa Generals remains high, as many players still at NHL camps, but they'll still look for the resources to get their first win of the season. For more on this game and the guys with the call, Mark Perry and Ryan Jury have the call. Enjoy the game here tonight.
Thank you very much, Mr. Carmichael, and Ryan Drury alongside Mark Perry here. And Isaac's right, Mark. Obviously, Oshawa, a team that has had some very deep runs over the last couple of years, and now they're transitioning to some much younger faces under new head coach Mario Pouliot. The Guelph Storm trying to cash in on this factory of young talent that they've been building and acquiring over the last couple seasons. Let's get into our players to watch tonight. We'll start with the Generals and a former Junior A player who's already making a goal-scoring impact for them. He's already got one on the season. We got to look at him in the preseason, Mr. Posthumus.
Yes, Luke Posthumus, a career Junior A player, finally getting his opportunity here at the major junior level. Played in 3 different Junior A leagues in his junior career, including with the Penticton Vs last season in the BCHL at 46 points for the Vs a year ago, and looking to have that scoring punch here with the Oshawa Generals and kind of trying to shore up some of that offense that has been lost by a number of the players that exited the Generals organization after last season.
I know he's a new face, but people should know this kid can really fire the puck.
Yes, he
When
can.
we look at the Guelph Storm, we're looking at second-year player, a guy who really impressed as a rookie, scored a goal in the home opener, Carter Stevens.
Yeah, and he's going to be a guy that they count on all season long. He's in his draft year, so he's looking to have that extra punch. Going to be a top 6 guy, at least they're counting on him to be a top 6 guy all season long. Had a goal and a helper in last Friday's win over Erie, and that goal, it was sublime on a 2-on-1 coming down the other way, showcasing that speed, showcasing that quick release as well. 26 points last year. Expect him to eclipse that this year, possibly by Christmas, in my opinion.
Absolutely, a lot of skill for that young man. Let's see if it translates into a second straight home victory for the Guelph Storm with the visiting Oshawa Generals in town. Let's send it down to ice level.
It is game time at the Sleeman Center on this beautiful Friday night. Excellent job by Rockwood Centennial pumping out Canada here at the Sleeman Center. Your starting goaltenders for tonight: Jaden Chalette will get the nod for the Oshawa Generals, the Nepean Raiders grad into his second career Ontario Hockey League game. He was slow out of the gate in North Bay his last time up, but held in there, ended up stopping 30 of 34 in that loss. Colin Ellsworth gets the nod for the Guelph Storm. 25 saves in a season-opening victory over the Erie Otters as Corey Stillman goes back and forth between the two goaltenders in Colin Ellsworth and Zach Jovanovski. Jovo got the start on Saturday against the Barrie Colts. Your officials for tonight's game: Brendan Kane is wearing number 13. Number 23 is Tyson Stewart. He is the other man wearing the orange armband. 22-year veteran Dave Full and Devin Driscoll are working the lines.
Thank you very much, Mr. Perry, as we are all set for action here at the Sleeman Center. And the puck is down as the Generals looking to try and get it out of the feet of Posthumus. 24 in red tonight, our player to watch for the visitors. In for Ellsworth to handle, smoothly over to Singh, and he'll just flip it out. McKenzie giving chase, currently the team's point leader. He'll go in there against former Stormer Sandu. Swung around as Griffin all tied up with Snellgrove there. Bump back behind, there's Sandu with it. Hard off the glass, good hold in there from McKenzie initially, but it will squirt out into neutral. Griffin, nice feed, dropping it back into his path. Couldn't quite get the pass off there was Rogowski. And the Storm are able to just flip it down the ice. Serlin trying to get after this on the forecheck, and he does. Swept to the front for Paquette. Knocked away from him. Miedema to the point. Top fires. And it's in. No, they're waving it off.
Yeah, they're going to say it hit the side of the net, and it just kind of got stuck into that plastic area on the outside of the goal.
It fooled everybody, including me. It hits the bottom of the net, and it looks in. It's not. That's one of the stranger bounces I've seen, because the shot went right along the ice. It must have got on the inside of the plastic next to the post.
Yeah, someone looked for a hole there.
That was very strange.
It wasn't a Shea Weber clapper, but
no.
it did enough.
So it is not 1-0 Storm, just to make sure everybody's aware. And we continue to play scoreless hockey here. Charging back on it, the captain, Paquette. Nice feed up to Serlin, finds Miedema with space to work down the wing. Tries to toe drag through. Good poke check there to get that away from him. That was Brady Blaseg with the good defensive play. Puck bouncing at the line, and the Generals happy to just knock it over the red line. Here comes Miedema with speed down the wing. Miedema with the hard charge to the net, and that gets turned aside by Chalette, and the net gets knocked off. That was something. Now the goal horn going off late here. Still no goal, as Miedema went charging in there with a very good chance.
85 seconds into this game, already a couple of chances here for the Storm. Really good shift here by Miedema. He has really played into Corey Stillman's style very well in the early going. I'm really liking the chemistry he has with Leo Serlin. They've been able to find each other a few times, even on some no-lookers.
Generals happy to dump this in. Ellsworth, much more confident coming out of the net to play the puck so far this year in his second OHL campaign, I've noticed. Ellsworth putting up fabulous numbers in his preseason stints, as this will go for an icing. Had the second best save percentage to only Mr. Carter George.
Yeah, he's not too bad. Not too bad at all.
I hear he's pretty good down in the Scenic City. And they're going to need Ellsworth to continue to develop here, and he had some excellent outings as a rookie, and he's been very solid so far early in this campaign.
And I'm liking the fact that there isn't really a lot of pressure either. I mean, he's going to get a lot of starts here this season, but it's not like, hey, it's make or break and you have to have a CHL goaltender of the year type of campaign. And I really think that plays into the confidence that he has, that he can kind of calm down a little bit.
Stevens moving with Wysick back into the zone. Jaco Wysick sent that down low. Stevens steps into his man, got the worst of that hit. as he came together hard with Leo Lachon. This goes down the ice. This will be another icing against the Generals, and there we're happy to see the Moon Man back, number 13, Quinn Beauchesne, returning from Pittsburgh Penguins camp.
Yeah, didn't look too badly in Pittsburgh camp either. Got into a preseason game a couple of days ago as well before being sent back up. Actually played on Wednesday night in that Penguins preseason game.
Charlie Paquette obviously back from Dallas Stars camp as well.
Rowan Top as well, coming back over from Minnesota. He had a tryout with them, undrafted.
Yes,
but
and I think we're both pretty confident that Mr. Top is going to play pro hockey somewhere.
I think so. He's got the intangibles, and he's not afraid to shoot it.
That's a hard-working kid, too. Over the line, McLean trying to drop it into the path of Singh, who was just a hair late getting there. Trying to hold it in there. Singh's going to have to race back defensively as Tom's on the carry. Far side on the wing, thrown toward the front. Ellsworth, smartly, he's just going to collapse on top of that.
I really like that play from Singh on the back check. Knows that the puck is going back the other way. Oshawa's got numbers coming back the other way, and instead of puck watching and puck chasing here, he's going immediately after Ethan Toms and just keeping him out of the play and just taking his stick out of any opportunity from getting a clean shot or even getting a clean opportunity going down the lane, and Ellsworth just takes care of the rest.
Snellgrove's going to line up for this defensive zone draw. Griffin leaning in. Boy, we were talking with Jack Morris, the voice of the Oshawa Generals, prior to the game, and he was just talking and marveling about the second half in the playoff run that Griffin had for this Generals team last year. As that's buzzed just wide by Sandu. Yeah, he'd love to score one here.
Led the OHL with 16 goals in the playoffs a year ago. Columbus has a good one in them.
He is a spectacularly skilled player. Good turnover created there by Christopher Soares, who's been a real standout through camp, the preseason, and the early start of the Storm campaign, number 28 in white. Lobo, he'll just chip and chase. Faceoff's going to get there first, make a decision. Slides away from the forecheck, up the wall, and that will come free. Timmerman. Knocked in. Faceoff's going to try again. Leaving it there. Soares is on it. He'll send it down the wall. Miedema, hard charge and trying to get after this, and he's going to just get beaten to it by Harrison Franson, who's normally a center, continuing to play defense out there for the Generals as they try to throw that to the front. High bouncing puck.
Well, they need a right shot D-man. That's why he's back there. He's the only righty on the line. Here
comes Paquette. Paquette trying to sweep that through, and that is stopped. Holding his ground nicely there, Cholette.
Yeah, I mean, Franzen, he's been working as a defenseman. The only guy on the roster who's a natural right shot defenseman is in Leafs camp, Ben Danford. Everybody else is lefties, so got to have a righty out there. And they have some numbers on the back end, but I think they like Franzen on the back end as well. And you like to have that utility knife kind of guy where he can play wherever the coach wants him to.
They're going to have to redo this face-off. Someone jumping in a little early for Dave Foles' liking. Well, it speaks to his hockey IQ, right? It's very hard to be a forward and go back and play defense. They always say it's easier to go the other way around, and Franson, they clearly think that he's got a good enough defensive mind to go out there and cover the bases. Beauchesne getting there first. Miedema trying to flick that by, and it's knocked down, but it'll roll over to Paquette, and he's able to use the other side of the ice to get it out for now. Paquette swept over. Brassard there. Chipped through and all the way down by Miedema. Cholette will just leave this for his defenders as both teams get some changes in. Smirnov knocking it in. Ellsworth again out there to settle and stop that puck. Shabinsky knocked down along the wall, gets right back up, makes a nice little move and gets away. Pass errant for Wysick though, and that will allow Oshawa to just tap it right back in. Spada there defensively, sweeping it around. Shabinsky's not going to get the puck. Back at the point, Oshawa looking for offense here. That's fired, it's bouncing loose, they score. Ellsworth didn't know where it was, and it'll get swept into the open cage by Porter Bird Leitner. How about that? It's 1-0 Generals.
First career Ontario Hockey League goal
sir.
for Bird Leitner, and you see here, it catches.
Pardon me, that's Smirnoff.
It was
sweeping that in.
Smirnoff.
Vadim Smirnoff, his second goal on the campaign.
And it looked like that puck may have handcuffed Grant Spada right in front of the net, because he was holding his wrist as soon as that puck came in, and you can still see him going toward the bench, favoring that wrist. He didn't know where it was after it bounced off of him. Nobody knew where it was, and Johnny on the spot was Smirnoff to score the opening goal.
So the Storm down early here, and that's why Ellsworth was confused, because the puck never did hit him. It ricocheted off Spada. Belahorski into the middle, and he ripped that just wide. He continues to look for his first in the OHL. So we thought, and pardon me, Porter Bird Leitner, as we'll be keeping an eye for him to eventually get his first OHL goal, and he will, because he's a very skilled player. It's Smirnoff's second of the season. 1-0 Generals, and hopefully Spade is all right. He didn't go down the tunnel. He's still out there.
That'd have been a stinger, if anything.
Yeah, it caught him right off the glove and went bouncing around. And, I mean, you talk about a friendly bounce. That's about as friendly as it gets for Vadim Smirnoff. Here comes Snellgrove. Pushed over. Soares is on it. Swept toward the front. Bouncing around. Stormer on it. Thrown back to the front. Just missing on a setup there for Frossard. Hard hit along the far wall as Soares got knocked down hard. And now a helmet comes off. That's Sandu, and he's clutching at his face. He's got to get off the ice because he has no helmet. And the Generals were wanting a penalty out of that. They're not going to get one. Beauchene back in. McKenzie firing, floating toward the front, loose there. So let's sprawled out, and it's under him finally. Snellgrove was there trying to knock it in. We'll step aside. Oshawa up 1-0 here on Mark Wilson's Better Used Cars Guelph Storm Hockey on Rogers TV.
This ice skating is brought to you by Huger Window Cleaning. Fans, it is now time for the Sip for Cams.
This program is brought to you by Rogers Xfinity, connecting you to more of what you love. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Aging Well brings you conversations with experts to help empower your golden years with enthusiasm and optimism. Don't miss Aging Well with Angela and Alice Liu, Mondays at 7 p.m.
Public transit, garbage pickup, parks and recreation program.
Welcome back inside the Sleeman Center with 13:19 to go here in the first period. Please, you could join us here on Rogers TV and on FloHockey, of course.
Yeah, all over the social medias
Yes.
tonight.
We are being streamed free. We're the game of the week, Friday Night Faceoff with our friends on FloHockey. So welcome to the broadcast. Ryan Drury alongside Mark Perry, Isaac Carmichael at ice level. Generals with a 1-0 lead. Belahorski ripped it just wide again. Beauchene with a ripper, and that's stopped by Cholette. Belahorski has had two very good looks early on here. Griffin tried to go inside out on Beauchene, and Quinn said no thanks. He's the other way. Hard shot, and that's gloved down by the southpaw Cholette, who is a former product of BCHL Cranbrook.
Yes, indeed. Played there last season.
If you're wondering why the pads are not Oshawa Generals colors yet.
Yeah,
They'll get them some.
He's got the Bucks pads still going. Speaking of pads, looks like our friend Colin Ellsworth down on the other end sporting some new pads here tonight. You don't see the puck marks on it. Shows me that those probably just came in the mail the other day.
I've talked to some goalies who hated getting new gear. I think that a lot of them nowadays, with the way the gear's made, they love getting new pads.
Yeah.
Here come the Generals looking to try and add to this 1-0 lead. Oh, hard collision there as Spada got taken in hard into the end wall. He's having a rough first period. He's going to draw a penalty. Luckily, he's up and is okay. Storm are waiting for a delayed call here. The extra skater is out. Serlin, nice feed. finds Miedema, tries to chip and chase. He's knocked down. Is that going to be 2 penalties?
Well, the second
It
hand
should be.
The second hand didn't go up. I'm curious about this first one here because it didn't look completely egregious on the hit on Spada, but they are going to say it's boarding.
They're saying it's boarding there, and that's Ani Calto who's going to sit. And then the Storm wanted another call as Miedema chip and chase, trying to get around his man, and got knocked down. They wanted 2. They're not going to get 2, but they will get 1. So the Storm will head to the man advantage for the first time tonight as Singh holds the line. Storm looking for their first power play goal of the season. One-timer attempt there from Wysick, and that just got through him. Wysick knocking it down low. Stevens trying to chase. Generals on it first, and they'll send it all the way. And the Storm have been moving the puck well on the power play in their first 2 games so far, but they just have yet to find that end connection. Stevens down the wing. Stevens fires, tried to go low blocker. Good stop from Cholette. Belahorski knocked away from him, and this will mean Ellsworth's got to come out and make a decision here. Swung over for Singh, out of his reach. Wysick says, I'll take it instead. Storm already getting some other guys out there on this power play with over a minute left on it. Beauchene, fresh back from Pittsburgh. Drop for McLean. He'll take it over the line. Swing it back for Beauchene. McLean through the seam, couldn't get it cleanly through to Paquette. McLean, now he does find Paquette, fires, and he just missed it high and wide. Rolling to the line, Beauchene rushes to keep it in. Will the Generals clear? No, Paquette got in the way. Miedema swung around, 30 seconds left on this man advantage. Beauchene, Paquette, Beauchene. McLean on the one-timer that's blocked in front. McLean holding serve. Down low play, Miedema swung through Paquette. It was blocked on the way. Nice play. They couldn't finish. Paquette, that took a deflection off a defender. Friendly bounce for the Generals. That's been the story of their first period. All the way down. Well, you can't say they're not creating chances, but the Storm power play coming up empty-handed again. Here comes McKenzie. McKenzie and firing. He tries to go low blocker on Cholette. I wonder if that's from a scouting report, but that's a few guys now trying to beat him there. McKenzie fighting to keep this alive. He will. Snellgrove chasing after Sandu. He swung it in back. Handled there by Murnane. High rising feed gets through Sandu, but it's down the ice. Open opportunity here for the Generals. They score, and it's Posthumous, our player to watch, making an impact. It's 2-0 Generals.
All the traffic on the near side, entry into the zone. Posthumous was left all alone, just sneaking down the right wing side. Got a few strides ahead of Soares. And there you see it there, the goal to make it 2-0. Most dangerous guy on the ice, the guy without the puck. A lot of the focus, again, was down on the left wing side as they entered the zone. Got to take Posthumous on that one. You got to go man-to-man there.
And he got in there as the Storm were completing a change, and no one was near him. And he showed again why he's already so dangerous early in his OHL career. That heavy, hard shot, it looks like it just goes through goaltenders, and it went through Ellsworth there. Stevens on the handle, now down 2-0. Singh wide open. Singh fires, big save, bouncing around, rebound loose. Shabinsky couldn't bang it home. Cholette was in some trouble there. Singh fires toward the front, still loose. Cholette one save, and he's got it again. Good answer back pressure from the Storm, but they just cannot knock the bouncing biscuit free.
You look back at their game against Barrie on Saturday, just the one shot on goal throughout the entirety of the first period. You look right now, 11 shots on net. I think the message is throw it on net, develop that rebound, but more importantly, yes, you can put those shots on net, but you need guys in there to create traffic and get some rebounds. They're getting rebounds, but Cholette's been fantastic through the first 11 minutes of this game. Just calm, cool, and collected, settling that puck down.
11-2 the shots, so the only 2 shots that have technically been thrown Ellsworth's way, although the first goal, he really had no idea where it was because of the funny bounce. They're both in, so 2 for 2 right now are the Generals. And the Storm, they can shore things up defensively. I agree, Mark, they're creating those opportunities. You got to think if they keep that type of pressure in front of Cholette up, that something will find the back of the net here. And that's going to be offside. So they're going to bring this outside Oshawa territory with 8:34 to go here in the first, in a period that has certainly been a bit of a wake-up call for the Storm early here.
A little bit. And Oshawa's coming in with a little bit of a bee in their bonnet. A, they've lost both of their games so far in the regular season, and B, Guelph really took it to them in the preseason, playing them a couple of times, including in this building, where the roster for Oshawa in that game, very similar to the roster that we're seeing here tonight. I think they're just looking for some revenge, and also I think they may have saw something in their game against Guelph in the scouting report to really put them up early here.
Here comes Toms charging down the ice. Good play on him by Frassard. Miedema knocks that through. No icing, though, as Sandu had that go just over his stick. Generals recover, though. Toms takes a hard hit from Miedema. Ethan Miedema laying the body, and now he hammers Sandu, too. Miedema throwing his weight around, trying to get everybody sparked. Paquette tried to find Miedema at the front. Frassard fires, and Cholette's got that one. Ethan Miedema, my guest on the Eye of the Storm this week, and I don't know if you've watched it yet, a super interesting kid. He's making his presence felt.
Yeah, that's an overager shift right there from a veteran looking to establish a presence. Down 2-0. Miedema, who has looked pretty good in this game so far, has gotten a couple of early chances. Right there, it's showcasing the power that he can bring against his former divisional opponent. He knows these Generals well, and he worked the corners pretty well there too to try to develop some chances.
Down low, Soares trying to chase after this. He's able to poke it through, and Snellgrove down there digging away for Guelph. But Griffin's going to jump on this. Good outlet feed, and Lobo sends a man through neutral. Picked off quickly by the Storm. Snellgrove trying to chase after this. In his feet, he's got it. And he's shouldered along the wall. 4-man scrum trying to dig that free. That's knocked past Beauchene, and Lobo's got some clear ice. Here comes Lobo. Lobo fires. He ripped it way wide. Puck was rolling on him, and he sent that way wide of the net. But again, the Generals, as you mentioned, Mark, clearly trying to get quickly behind Guelph's defenders, and they're having success. Soares, drop it there, just offside. Shabinsky jumped a second early. 7:04 to go here, and the Storm, certainly not offensively, they're generating their chances. They got to tune in a little bit here in the transition game.
Yes, they do. And, on defense, it's kind of man coverage, if to use a football term there. If you don't have the puck, take a man. Don't let a guy sneak in behind you, because they've been doing that, and that's how both of these goals were scored.
Stevens in there offensively, knocking it down low. Generals have it. Up the wall, can Stevens hold it in? Yes, for now. But controlling it here is Blasek. Bouncing there for Sandu. He's able to swing it up the wall, and Roberts turns it over. Couldn't quite get that out. Now he will. Rogowski the other way, Calto in for Rogowski, trying to sweep that on the backhand. It's knocked away by a good defensive stick. That crept through Stevens as he'll peel off for a change. And so Oshawa will just take it right back. Rogowski back over the line. He gets sealed up nicely there by Top. Wearing an A this year, Rowan Top. Nice to see him back from NHL camp. One of the more impactful defensive players on this Storm team. Generals charging right back in on the stick of Franson. who continues to man the point, as we mentioned earlier for Oshawa. This swept all the way down the ice. It's going to die, though, so Franson has to play it. But Miedema had given up pursuit, and Oshawa back in transition the other way. Drop feed in front, and again, that quick transition play into the middle is burning the Storm. They nearly found Cormier alone in front. They've got to watch that transition game. Oshawa's catching them. High flipping puck, initially held in. This is going to get knocked in. They're going to say it's onside. This is rolling on Singh. Spada there. Swept up the boards. Hapanenko tried to bump it back into the path of Belahorski. Now it's knocked in deep by Hapanenko. Generals are back there on it first. Quick turnover. Hapanenko sweeping it back in. He gets taken hard into the wall. Physicality ramping up a little bit here late in the first. Belahorski down low. Hapanenko pursuing against Sandu, who makes a good play. And we're going to get a penalty coming here, a high stick. Who's going to be guilty of it? It's Oshawa. Storm to the power play when we come back on Mark Wilson's Better Used Cars Guelph Storm Hockey on Rogers TV.
Dr. Poole, Dr. Real, and the Speedvale Dental Team, the official dentist of the Storm.
This program is brought to you by Rogers Xfinity, connecting you to more of what you love. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
My OHL is a place to talk. So Talk Today has a number of elements. First and foremost, we support the players. We provide mental health and awareness training and suicide prevention training to them. And we have a coach that's in every one of our branches that supports an OHL team. And in years to come, these individuals that are playing in the OHL now will be great mental health champions.
Back here inside the Sleeman Center with 4:52 left in the first. Oshawa with a 2-0 lead, both at even strength. Guelph heading to their second power play in this period, and it's former Stormer Zach Sandu guilty of a high stick, say the officials. So he will sit. On his way to the box, he was motioning to the officials too about that high stick he felt he took earlier that knocked his helmet off, and the officials weren't having any of it. Paquette on the carry-in. All the way around, Miedema for the settle. Turned over, that hit a General on the clearing attempt. It's at the line, it'll come out, and the Generals have room here on the penalty kill. It's Griffin trying to sweep it into the path of Blasek. The Storm have really got to knuckle down on this transition that the Generals are victimizing them on. Paquette swung to the front, nobody home. Storm looking to get things set up and eat into this 2-goal lead late in the first. Paquette, the captain. Beauchesne up top. Rolls into one end. That's going to be gloved down and jumped on by Cholette as Beauchesne trying to ramp up the rifle there, and that was stopped.
Yeah, all it takes is a little bit more communication by the Storm just in front of the Oshawa bench there. That ends up going down the other way from Owen Griffin, who's got some really good speed, but you're seeing there Quinn Beauchesne not afraid to shoot the puck, which is something that has been a common theme throughout the preseason and something that we're hoping to see a little bit more of here this year.
Certainly. He's got all the skill in the world, and they're looking for him to take a big jump offensively. Good hold at the line by Singh. Under a minute left on this Guelph power play, their second. Shabinsky trying to go through the seam. That jumps over a defender's stick. Wysick trying to seal that puck up. Stevens in there digging with him. Wysick gets it free back to the point. Singh. Shabinsky. Back up top for Singh. Fires, that's wide. Wysick settling. Working this umbrella power play setup. Stevens sweeping it through, trying to find Shabinsky. It jumped his blade. Singh. Wysick. 10 seconds left on this man advantage. Belahorski fires. Cholette got a chunk of that. Puck's bouncing, and the referees blow play dead. What was that?
I think Kane just lost vision of the puck on that one. Didn't see it bounce in front into the slot, and maybe just a quick whistle on that one.
Yeah.
Very quick whistle.
That was confusing. The puck was well loose. 9 seconds left on this man advantage. Guelph will line up for a draw here, still trying to solve the young Oshawa netminder. They'll win the draw. Try and get something off quickly here. Sandu's about to come out of the box. Top. Fired to the front, tipped in front, scores! The Storm are on the board. It won't count as a power play marker, but it's in the back of the cage, and look who it is. He's turning into a goal-scoring machine, Hunter McKenzie.
Already 4th of the season for number 72, and this is, again, something the Storm have been doing all game, sending traffic to the front of the net, peppering the net. Cholette unable to cover it the first time, and Hunter McKenzie is able to bang away at it and put it into the back of the nets. Big goal here for the Storm to get some confidence under their feet.
Absolutely, they need some life. Posthumous scores! My goodness, the release on this kid is something to behold, and he takes the life right back out of this building.
Well, what did you say off the top of the broadcast, Ryan? Might be a rookie season for Posthumous here in the Ontario Hockey League, but don't let that fool you. This guy can shoot, this guy can score, and my, oh my, what a release from Posthumous as he scores just seconds after the McKenzie goal to make it 3-1.
So the Storm faithful and the team were feeling good as McKenzie scored just as the power play expired to make it 2-1. And about 4 seconds later, Posthumous with just an outrageous release.
4-second difference between the goals, officially.
Absolutely outrageous release on this kid. We made him our player to watch for a reason. He scored a goal here in our lone preseason broadcast from a similar spot. He's just got some God-given hands to absolutely unleash a puck. That shot was unreal. 3-1 Generals with under 2 to go here in the first on 3 shots for Oshawa. They've got Guelph's number right now. Man, Brassard defensively, he gets bodied up by Calto. Oshawa trying to dig it free, they will. Calto on the wraparound, tried to throw it in front. He'll take it off a turnover. High shot, and that's blockered aside by Ellsworth. And that'll go up and into the netting.
Gets the Bronx cheer because of it, too.
I don't love that.
I don't like that at all. Although it was a high shot, so I don't think he's officially going to get credit with a save on that one. So still the save percentage at Goose Eggs for Colin Ellsworth, and again, not his fault.
They gave him the shot.
They finally gave him the shot, but
it's not his fault. And I mean, for anybody saying on that last goal, yeah, you'd love a save there, sure. That shot from Oshawa.
That is a beautiful shot. Top corner, glove side.
Find me someone who's stopping that. I mean, that's just an unbelievable shot. But yeah, I mean, a Bronx cheer for a 17-year-old, really? Come on, guys. Papanenko trying to dangle his way through a defender. Gets through one, knocked away from him. Singh there to keep it. Throwing it toward the front. That'll bounce wide. So the Storm are going to want to look at some tape in the intermission, which I'm sure they'll be doing to try and figure out what went wrong here in the first as Spada sizzles one wide. Singh, final minute of play here. Spada firing. That's knocked aside easily by Cholette, who has made some good saves here. I mean, he's certainly been the busier of the 2 goaltenders. 2 power plays for Guelph, and they haven't been able to connect.
And you can't even say the Storm has been goalied in this first period.
No.
He hasn't made any 10-bellers per se, but you know, he's been square to the puck.
Well, he's been there and answered the bell when he's had to so far. Murnane trying to dangle his way away from the pressure of Stevens. Final 20 seconds ticking away here. Swung around, handled here by Blasek. Up quickly for Griffin, he'll sweep it down. Jumping in and trying to handle that through for Griffin. Nifty move, couldn't get the shot away. Turned over, and the Storm will try and get one last shot in, but Wysik's gonna run out of time. So after an opening 20 here, the Generals with a 3-1 lead over the Guelph Storm. Stick with us when we come back from the break. Our own Isaac Carmichael will be chatting with the man of 2 goals in that period, Luke Posthumus, with Isaac next here on Mark Wilson's Better Used Cars Guelph Storm Hockey on Rogers TV.
Public transit, garbage pickup, parks and recreation programs, snow removal on your street. How can you stay informed about these and other important local services? Tune to City Council coverage on Rogers TV. See your community leaders at work on Rogers TV City Council coverage.
Hi, Pastor Mark here. Join us each and every week on Sundays. All are welcome, no exceptions. That is St. Peter's Church, every Sunday at 11 a.m. God bless. We'll see you soon.
Please welcome the Fantastic Four.
We do family dinner every week.
How's that sauce? Okay.
Your planet is marked for death.
We will protect you.
As a family.
Johnny, quit screwing around!
I tell you how to drive the ship, don't tell me how to kill sexy aliens!
Marvel Studios' The Fantastic Four.
For 25 years, you've been helping to make our roads safer by doing the right thing. You've been the designated driver, you've stayed over, called home, you've called a cab or a friend, and planned ahead. Let's keep doing the right thing. Support sober driving by getting yourself and your friends home safely.
Do the right thing.
Visit ArriveAlive.org to find out more. Arrive Alive. Drive sober.
My name is Chef D. Most days, you'll find me feeding high-profile personalities in even higher-pressure kitchens. But now I'm taking an ordinary food truck and a slice of summer to get out of my comfort zone and into parts of the community normally out of my reach. It's a gamble, but if I can use my passion for food to help out some amazing folks, it'll be worth the road trip.
Welcome back to Mark Wilson's Better Used Cars Guelph Storm Hockey on Rogers TV. Joined with Luke Posthumus this first period. Luke, let's talk about the opening frame. 3 goals for the Generals on 3 shots. How would you evaluate the opening 20 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're out to a little better start than the last couple games, but yeah, obviously getting on the board early with a couple is always a good feeling. I feel like our team's kind of playing better today. We're playing tighter as a team defensively, and yeah, it's helping create offense, and we just got to keep discipline here. We got to stay out of the box.
2 goals in that opening period. What was kind of working for you in the opening frame to give yourself some space to get 2 behind Ellsworth?
Yeah, playing with Griff and Lobo, obviously they're 2 great players, and they're kind of making it a little easier out for me out there. And yeah, just trying to find the open ice with them is kind of what I'm trying to do.
Oshawa obviously has a lot of players in the NHL camp, some of them coming back this weekend. What's it like having that veteran presence back in the lineup for this team going forward for the regular season?
Yeah, obviously we've been missing a couple guys, and it's a good little boost to our team to get them back. Obviously they're great guys in their room and good players on the ice, so yeah, it's really good to get them back.
Interesting story for you, 7th round pick back in 2020. This is your over-age season here in the Ontario Hockey League, first with the Oshawa Generals. What made you decide to play your over-age season here in junior hockey in the OHL?
Yeah, obviously the OHL is a great league, and yeah, I was drafted a couple years ago to a great organization in Oshawa, and yeah, ever since I've kind of signed here and came here, I felt loved, so yeah, it's been a great feeling so far.
All right, last game against Kingston, you scored the 2 first goals of that game, ended up losing that game back on home ice. What do you have to do here tonight to avoid doing that once again and getting the 2 points here?
Yeah, stay disciplined, kind of only worry about ourselves, not really as much of the other team, and just stay tight together as a team and don't fall apart here.
All right, thanks, Luke. Best of luck the rest of the game.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back. You're watching Mark Wilson's Bear Used Cars Guelph Storm Hockey on Rogers TV.
After a night out with your friends, not having a plan for a safe ride home can leave you in a bad spot. You could end up riding in a police car, an ambulance, or a hearse. These unplanned modes of transportation can be a costly choice and do not take you home. Your plan could include a designated driver, a taxi, or public transit. Drink responsibly, choose your ride, and have a plan for a safe ride home.
Visit arrivealive.org to find out more.
Hello, be sure to join me on Mondays at 8 p.m. here on Rogers TV for Lions TV Bingo. And starting this summer, we're going to have a new kind of card. So remember, new cards for the same great game every Monday, Lions TV Bingo.
Hey everybody, the Rangers are back September the 19th, and so is this week in Rangers Nation. I'm excited to bring you season 2 of everything in Rangers Nation. You're going to love it. Catch it on Rogers TV every Friday night at 6:30.
To the rafters in the Edmonton Arena. Everyone is feeling the pressure on the Grabs as they await the American champs. Here's the Cleveland favorite Knits now, and boy, do they look impressive.
Look at their uniforms. I bet you could sure run in smart shirts like those. Not that. Look, world champs, my eye.
Grads, we don't play for glory. We play the game for the game's sake. So tonight, you're going to earn that title by playing your game. Teamwork, passing. Let's show them what it means to play the Grads.
The Edmonton Grads were champions for 25 years. The record of 502 wins and only 20 losses is unmatched in all of sport.
Welcome back inside the Sleeman Center. 3-1 Generals over the Storm through 20 minutes of play. Some of the fans getting in on the scoring act here during the intermission to win some prizes. Had some scoring in that first period to look at. That is for sure between these two foes here tonight, the Generals and the Storm. Let's take a look at the scoring. First off, it was Vadim Smirnov from Ben Cormier. Just a shot thrown into the front of the net. Smirnov is able to get to it, a loose puck. Nobody knew where it was, and it was 1-0 Generals. That came at the 5:07 mark. Then Luke Posthumus getting loose, getting the pass over on the counterattack, throws it in to make it 2-0. Hunter McKenzie would cut the lead in half at 17-12. As you get another look at that one, just getting in on a rebound, one of the rare ones from Jaden Cholette, to make it 2-1. And then right here, 4 seconds later, Luke Posthumus with a lethal shot. His third of the season, his second of the game. And that is where we stand. 3-1 is the score. Shots on goal, 17-3 Storm through 20 minutes of play. We'll be back with Isaac to discuss some 2025-26 rule changes on the other side. Stay with us. You're watching Mark Wilson's Better Used Cars Guelph Storm Hockey here on Rogers TV.
Public transit, garbage pickup, parks and recreation programs, snow removal on your street. How can you stay informed about these and other important local services? Tune to City Council coverage on Rogers TV. See your community leaders at work on Rogers TV City Council coverage.
It's closing time, and you stayed out longer than you planned. So now you can't drive, and the buses have stopped running. You could always call your girlfriend. Or maybe your roommate? What about your best friend? You could just dial 1-888-TAXI-GUY or use the Taxi Guy app. The call and the app are free, and they both connect you to a local cab company to bring you home safely. Visit arrivealive.org to find out more. Arrive Alive, drive sober.
After a night out with your friends, there's always options for getting home safely. You could call your BFF, your mom or dad, whoever you can count on for a safe ride home. You could call your favorite cab company or 1-888-TAXI-GUY, or you could use the Arrive Alive smartphone app to help you choose your ride. Be it a friend, transit, or taxi, getting home safely is app easy. Now available for iOS and Android devices. Visit arrivealive.org to find out more. Arrive Alive, drive sober.
The Quintessence Coalition brings you immersive experiences and conscious collaborations from artists across the country. Don't miss the sights, sounds, and spirits of the Quintessence Coalition. Saturdays at 8:30 p.m.
My name is Chef D. Most days, you'll find me feeding high-profile personalities in even higher-pressure kitchens. But now I'm taking an ordinary food truck and a slice of summer to get out of my comfort zone and into parts of the community normally out of my reach. It's a gamble, but if I can use my passion for food to help out some amazing folks, it'll be worth the road trip.
Welcome back to Mark Wilson's Better to Use Cars, Guelph Storm Hockey on Rogers TV. Joined by Mark Perry here in the first intermission. Mark, we're going to talk about some rule changes that were in effect to begin this opening season. And Mark, let's talk about a couple of them. The first one off the hop, a couple of potential penalties for teams, one of them being the delay of game, the other one being sitting on the boards.
I mean, there's a few to go into. There was a conference call with Conrad Hache, the OHL's director of officiating, and he went into a little bit of it and really gave us a bit of a tutorial at the same time too. It was actually a bonus for us that we're tuning in on it as well. Got to see what the officials are seeing. They have different views than what we have here with Rogers TV. They have their own 7-camera setup. Not every arena has them installed. They've been trying to get them installed as much as they could. I'm not too sure if they have them installed here tonight. I know they didn't have them last week here at the Sleeman Center, but they're trying to get that kicked into high gear. It is a new software. The OHL officials are trying to get used to it. But when it comes to that video review, you obviously are able to look at different things, and they did change up what you can and cannot review regardless of timeout. If you recall beforehand, you needed a timeout to challenge things, like goaltender interference, for example. Now you get a time. If you take your timeout, say in the first period, there's a goalie interference call or a non-call that turns into a goal in the third period, you can still challenge that if you are the team that has been the team that had the goal scored against. There's obviously still the rule change when it comes to potential offsides, missed game stoppage events as well in the offensive zone that can lead to a goal. So say a hand pass or a high stick knocks the puck down. I mean, there's a lot to get into in that, but all in all, to say there's a little bit more that the teams can challenge and try to get things right at the end of the day. And you mentioned the thing with the getting the leg over the boards. I almost equate that one to the old mouth guard rule, where you can't have the full mouth guard out or else you're going to get called for it. This is kind of one of those rules now where they're really cracking down, and it's a safety thing at the end of the day. You have a guy kind of just hanging out on the other side of the boards, maybe the leg sticking out, getting ready to come on. The puck comes around, knocks it down, stoppage of play. You're just trying to cut that down. And just making sure that the guys are staying on the bench at the end of the day. They're not hanging out or anything like that. So I think that's a good thing. But I think from what I've seen from some of the games here so far, the guys are really getting the message in the early going here. Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see the increased amount of camera angles and replays that we have access to now.
Oh, I should point out with that as well, once they actually are able to feed it to us, we may soon get those angles for ourselves. So stay tuned to an OHL broadcast near you. You might actually get to see some of the angles that the officials are looking at when they're reviewing a call. They just got to figure out everything that's working with it. Because again, we don't automatically get access to those angles, and there's other leagues that also kind of go into the system too, and they're also wanting to get these angles too. So there's a little bit to work out at the end of the day, but if we're able to, at some point this year, we can get those angles to you. We'll see how that ends up playing out. It should be fun.
Always trying to bring you closer to the action. It'll be interesting to see how we balance timing and delay of game with the replay system and getting it accurate as well, because we don't want fans sitting there on replays every couple of minutes. So it'll be interesting to see how they use that.
We only have so much content to dig into on a 10-minute delay. We only have so many war stories, if you will, to get into when we're just waiting for a call to come back and only playing the same thing over and over and over again when we've seen sometimes too where we have the right call immediately up here, but they're trying to be right down at the end of the day at the ice level. But it's a hard job for them. We might think, we're absolutely right. That was absolutely goaltender interference. They want to make sure that it's absolutely goaltender interference before they make the call on the ice.
Another big change in my mind, and we haven't seen it yet into effect this season, but face-offs now, they're getting a little bit more sensitive around the timing on dropping the puck and making sure everyone's set and ready to go.
Yeah, so previously on the face-off, following an icing call, for example, a defending centerman would receive a warning for a face-off violation, and the second infraction committed would end up, turning into a minor penalty. The centerman for the attacking team would be ejected following his first face-off violation with that. Effective this year, both centermen on a face-off following an icing call will receive that warning following the face-off violation, and then the second violation will result in the offending team being assessed a minor penalty. So again, trying to crack down on it a little bit more. Other face-off scenarios, either centerman will be ejected from the face-off circle without a warning. And then on the third face-off violation, they're assessed a minor penalty. So again, a little bit of a change, but again, just trying to crack things down.
That's what happens when we have new management and a new commissioner as well. There's going to be changes in the Ontario Hockey League. It'll be interesting to see over the course of this season and next seasons to come how these rule changes influence the great game that we get to watch every Friday night. All right, we'll take a quick break. Second period just around the corner. The Guelph Storm looking to bounce back after dropping the first period 3-1. You're watching Mark Wilson's Bear Used Cars Guelph Storm Hockey on Rogers TV.
Sports fans know Sundays are for football. That's why you need NFL Sunday Ticket. With NFL Sunday Ticket, Rogers customers get every live game, every Sunday afternoon, all season long. Follow your favorite teams and players live in HD. Order NFL Sunday Ticket and get up to 200 regular season games. Rogers Xfinity TV customers say NFL Sunday Ticket into your voice remote.
My mother said we had to leave home. The communists were going to take my father away. If my parents were afraid, they didn't show us. But we would never forget our escape from Vietnam. We were lost.
What was your job in Vietnam?
University professor. We had no home.
Do you have any family in Canada?
No, sir. Nobody wanted us.
Welcome to Canada.
Canada chose us.
Canadians open their borders, their homes, and their hearts to more than 100,000 refugees fleeing persecution after the Vietnam War.
We were home.
The regulars, the guys who keep this place in business. Last week, they had something to celebrate. Jason had just finished university. So they toasted his profs, his TAs, his old roommates. Well, they toasted just about everyone. But I worry about and take care of my guys. So even when I know they're not driving, sometimes that means bringing them a little surprise. And then they had a drink to me.
Brought to you by Smart Serve Ontario and Arrive Alive, Drive Sober.
Welcome back inside the Sleeman Center, getting ready for the second period of play. One of 7 games happening in the Ontario Hockey League here on this Friday night. Looking around the OHL, the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds with a 2-1 lead on the Kingston Frontenacs. Up Highway 7 in Kitchener, the Erie Otters with a 1-0 lead on the Kitchener Rangers and their newly minted captain, Cameron Reed. 1-0 London over the Brampton Steelheads. Jared Woolley with the goal there for the Knights. Ottawa also with a 1-0 lead on the North Bay Battalion, and the Sting with a 2-0 lead on the Sudbury Wolves. Wolves in the midst of their 3-3 weekend on the road.
Yes, sir, Mr. Perry. Thanks for the rundown. Hard hit behind the net there by Singh as we get the second period rocking and rolling here at the Sleeman Center. Storm with some work to do after that first. They had the advantage in pressure, certainly in shots. However, not where it counts, as Oshawa making good on the opportunities that they got. 3 for 3 on their shots, as turned over quickly here. Paquette trying to get things going the other way for Guelph, and it's swept away quickly, and Griffin, if he hurries, has an odd man rush with Posthumus going to the net. Griffin scores. Jovanovski taking over the net for the Storm. And again, it was not Ellsworth's fault in that first, and the first shot that Jovanovski sees by Griffin beats him. It is 4-1 Generals. Wow.
You start to get the feeling that the Generals might be playing on easy mode here tonight, just with the way that they are firing the puck and the success that they have been having here tonight. Perfect 4 for 4 on shots. That last one just beats the goaltender low, Zach Jovanovski, as you mentioned, taking over the net for Colin Ellsworth.
So a 4-1 lead here. The good news for Guelph is there's a lot of hockey left.
Ton of hockey.
The bad news is they continue to get caught with men up ice on odd man rushes, and you would think that that was something that was talked about heavily in the intermission, and they start the second period making the same mistakes that cost them that 3-1 lead in the first, which is now 4-1. And Mark, I think here is where Corey Stillman is going to want to see the mettle of this young team. Your backs are against the wall because of your own mistakes. What's your response? Are you going to sag your shoulders and let it get worse? Or are you going to get your shoulders up here and let's go and get back into this game?
Yeah, if you're going to be up there, you got to make sure you have a man back and prevent those odd man rushes. And you got the speed to work with Oshawa here. Oshawa's got a lot of youth and a lot of speed and some accuracy to go along with it. It's up to you to really settle down on defense and really, help out your goaltender a little bit more here.
Need to find some offense. Hapanenko trying to do just that. Swung toward the front, trying to find Belahorski, who had a lot of good scoring chances in the first. Beauchesne rips one. That's blocked by Calto. Hapanenko back to Beauchesne. Fires. That's blocked too. Bouncing in behind. Swung over. And Hapanenko getting on that. Belahorski trying to get it too, but it is knocked free. Sent all the way down. Is that enough for icing? Just. And so the Generals are going to have to bring some guys back from the bench that we're hoping to get a change. So, offensively, we've talked about it, Mark. They're generating lots of chances. They have 17 shots. What is it in particular defensively that they got to clean up here in terms of that transition that's hurting them?
I think it's just making sure numbers are back. There's been too many times where, the odd man rush, the open man is the one getting the puck and getting the last look at the puck. You got to make sure that you're, playing that 200-foot game a little bit more. Too many times we've been seeing a defenseman pinch up a little bit, and they end up getting caught, and they don't have another man from the forward unit coming back to try to help them out.
Snellgrove trying to get that puck free off the half wall. Bouncing around in some feet, and Sandu's got it. Sandu on the carry, chipped through Smirnov, and that's down. Smirnov opening the scoring tonight on a very funny-looking play in front of then netminder Colin Ellsworth. Zach Jovanovski in there for the Storm to start this second period. That now reads 4-1 on the big board for the visitors from Oshawa. Both teams getting some changes in. That'll get through everybody. Slap down the ice, charging after it is Spada to make sure that ends up as an icing. And speaking of Spada, his dad is going to be joining our friend Isaac Carmichael in the second intermission. Of course, the commissioner of the Greater Ontario Hockey League. No J anymore in the GOJHL.
No, get that J out of here. The junior is gone. It's the Greater Ontario Hockey League, one of the, well, the official league partner of the Ontario Hockey League here. Gonna be glad to see Mr. Spada on the telly coming up in the second intermission to talk about the partnership.
Nice seam play, finds Singh. He has to settle it though, and that gave Cholette time to get over. Good play by Paquette though, who takes a rough ride into the wall. Puck bouncing, and that's sent down by Oshawa, but that's going to be an icing. 16:33 to go in the second. Storm ramping up that offensive pressure again, trying to eat into this now 3-goal lead. Was chatting with Craig in the intermission there quickly. He was up here in the booth, and he got to go down to Tampa and watch Grant obviously take part in Tampa Bay Lightning camp. Notched an assist in his appearance during camp and in the preseason. Very proud dad, obviously. And Spade has become a fan favorite here for his hard play as Paquette rips that high and wide. Smirnov can't clear though, as Serlin will swing that toward the net. It will ricochet out. Chipped back in by the Storm. Paquette in pursuit. Good hit to knock the puck free. Lands here for a hard charging Beauchene, who gets a good shot away, and Cholette is there at the top of the blue with the glove.
You see that nose for the net in Quinn Beauchene. That puck is coming hot towards the blue line. Great job to keep that puck in, and you see Paquette going towards the net again. You know, developing chances, getting a crowd in front of the net, trying to create some rebounds. The Storm are doing everything but scoring here tonight on the offensive side of things, and you know, sooner or later they're going to break through with the way that they're peppering the goal.
Well, that is certainly the hope, but here comes Luke Posthumus, who joined Isaac in the first intermission. 2 goals for Posthumus in this game, both off rifle shots. Makes a nifty play there as the Generals were trying to catch the Storm unawares at the side of the post. Guelph were able to clear, but knocked right back in. Jovanovski settling for top. Left here for Spada to jump on. Pushed up to the blue line. Hard hit there. The physicality continuing to ramp up here as Stevens, he's taken a couple big hits. He got right back up after that one. Wysick can't handle it. Taken by Lobo. Faked a shot. Spun back in front. Could not connect with his man there. Storm again turning the puck over in neutral and nearly getting caught. Wysick the other way. In deep. Looking for an option, finds one at the point in for Sard, who fires, and that got tipped in and was stopped by Cholette. Shabinski getting involved down low. Wysick in there trying to help him with the Oshawa defenders. They win that battle, though. Sandu with time. Flipped up, turned over quickly. Shabinski moving into the middle, leaving it there, trying to go back to Shabinski. Stuffing away, and that got through him. Stevens nearly set Shabinski up. This is going to go for icing. 14:34 to go. The Storm are pushing, and they just cannot find pay dirt yet.
And it's just causing turnovers here. Shabinski finds his man, trying to go back and forth. Gets it toward the goal, unable to really settle it down, but again, being aggressive on the forecheck, doing a lot of things right in the offensive zone.
McLean trying to dig that free with Belahorski, and the Generals will come up with it instead. High off the glass all the way down. It's icing again. The Generals will still not be able to get fresh guys out there, and now would be a great time for the Storm to take advantage.
They've really got to smell some blood in the water here. That's about the 6th or 7th icing call against the Generals here in the last 5 minutes. They really have to pound that puck toward the net and really take advantage of this long change here in the second period. A lot of those Generals are being caught on the ice for about a minute 10, minute 20.
Well, they're going to have an opportunity now to get some fresh guys as Sandu sits behind the net to eat some time. Franzen quickly up. He'll dump in, and the Generals will finish the change they so desperately needed. That was a tired group out there. Singh carving his way through neutral. Trying to play that into the path of McLean, rolls to Cholette, and he'll just hold on to that. We'll step aside. Generals up 4-1 on Mark Wilson's Better Used Cars Guelph Storm Hockey on Rogers TV.
This program is brought to you by Rogers Xfinity, connecting you to more of what you love. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Rogers TV Community News focuses on what impacts you in and around Waterloo Region and beyond. It's a twice-weekly look at important issues. Rogers TV Community News, Mondays at 5 p.m. and Fridays at 6 p.m.
You're watching an interesting local show on Rogers TV and you want to know more. That's when you head to RogersTV.com. Our website provides more information about our programs, our hosts, our schedule, and about how you too can get involved with Rogers TV. Visit us online at RogersTV.com.
Welcome back to the Sleeman Center. 13:59 left here in the second. The Generals with a 4-1 lead, and they still only have 4 shots up there on the board. So they have been making perfect connection, as Cholette will just calmly collect that. They have been making perfect, literally, connection on the chances that they have had here in the Storm. 22 shots now, and they just cannot seem to solve this young netminder.
Yeah, 3 out of the 4 goals coming on counterattacks and just very quick shots. That odd bounce resulting in the opening goal of this game in front of the net that hit a defender in front. You know, you have to be lucky to be good, and good to be lucky sometimes. And I'm not saying that luck has played everything into it here, but the Generals, like you said, they're perfect so far here tonight.
Snellgrove trying to go to the front to find McKenzie, the lone goal scorer on the Storm so far, as Spada stepped hard into Calto there to keep the puck alive. McKenzie, he of 4 goals now in his 3rd game tonight. Singh down low. Soares is there. Swing it back up top. Spada thrown to the front, blocked on the way. Soares takes some punishment and gets knocked into the referee for his trouble. Generals trying to get this free and away. That will get through Singh and go down the ice. Spada will have to chase this down. Roberts trying to beat him there, but Spada got good position on him. 2 big men coming together there. Generals with control now offensively. Storm cause a turnover, and they try to head the other way and look for some offense. They need some. Snellgrove, nice feed. McKenzie fires. That's blocked on the way. Good defensive play getting in the way there by Smirnov, who has it here. Gets through his stick. Tries to bother Serlin, who cannot make it cleanly through neutral. Now Franzen knocked down. That's going to be a penalty, and that's the last thing the Storm need right now. Miedema guilty of a trip, and with a 4-1 lead, the Generals are going to go to their first power play of the game.
Yeah, here he has the puck taken away from him by Franzen, and just gets the stick in there, and upends Franzen, who was trying to glide into the offensive zone, and it's a clear-cut tripping call. Gets his stick in the feet, and Franzen goes down.
12:37 left here in the second, and this is a pivotal moment. If this stretches to 5-1, I mean, you are going to have a heck of a mountain to climb here. It's a large hill right now. 5-1 is a mountain, so the Storm have got to kill this off. They'll get a friendly bounce there as Sandu got chased back. Griffin back over the line. Rogowski, hard hit on Rogowski. He gets right back up. Both teams not afraid to get physical so far tonight.
Look for that backdoor play.
Griffin up top, Sandu fires through traffic, tipped in, they score, and that's Lobo, his first career goal. He tips it home. It's 5-1 Generals, and the crowd here is sitting in stunned silence.
Put the puck toward the net. Lobo looked like it just kind of handcuffed him a little bit there as he was trying to tip it in. Takes a bit of a jump. It goes off the blade of the stick. And just enough of a hop to get by Jovanovski. And now 5 goals on 5 shots here for the Oshawa Generals, as they might be looking at this one.
There's a couple officials over there. They're just waiting for a puck.
Yeah, that's right, because it is his first career goal, so they were wondering where the puck was.
So congratulations are in order for Jalen Lobo, his first career OHL goal. It comes on the power play, and he has given his Oshawa Generals a 5-1 lead. Toms is offside, and he'll get involved with Broussard after the whistle here, as Broussard's short of a glove now. 12:04 left, and the Storm at this point, Mark, they have got to dig deep, and I think that Corey Stillman, I can tell you this, as we're going to get another look at Lobo's first career goal, and it goes off his knee. Hey, you'll take it anyway. They all look the same. Congratulations to 34 in red. Heck of a moment for him and his family. I can tell you this, next week my guest on the Eye of the Storm podcast is head coach Corey Stillman, and in our conversation he talked about wanting to see his hockey club become stiffer to play against, harder to play against in their own zone. Tonight, not a great example of that so far, and you know, we understand there's a lot of new faces, a lot of new guys trying to learn a system here, but this is an effort that so far they are going to want to load on to an MP3 stick and just throw it right in the garbage, because there's not a lot of positives to take out of this so far. Shabinsky trying to change that, thrown to the front, and Stevens could not get a shot away. They got to knuckle down here and start to inch away and just look at it as one at a time. Shabinsky in front off a nice play. Stevens down low with a good feed, and Cholette is there again. And he is starting to become a big story in this game.
Yes, he is. You know, again, square to the puck. Doesn't need a 10-beller when you're able to see the puck as well as he has been able to. Latest chance there from Jakob Wyzek right in front of the goal. And you see Cholette just hugging the post, waiting for that puck. Knows that that shot is going to be coming and just gets right to it.
Spada fires well wide, looking for a friendly deflection. Storm keeping this alive. Charging after this is Hapanenko. It gets swept out of the zone. Generals have been exiting their zone very quickly so far tonight. Belahorski with some nice handles through the middle. Belahorski fires. He has been the most dangerous Storm player out there as he continues to look for his first career goal, and he challenged Cholette there. Forced him into a nice shoulder stop. Quick up, tipped in by Hapanenko. Murnane's on it first. Storm trying to cause a turnover down low. They will. Hapanenko gives it right back, though. And Posthumus with a nice move to get away from him. Griffin in transition, trying to lay that in there for Posthumus. Knocked away by Jovanovski. I do not love this from the fans. I do not love this. Jovanovski pushing that away, another Bronx cheer. Now, there are a healthy contingent of Generals fans here. Don't love that. No, I do not love that. These are teenagers. Like, come on. I understand this is sports. I don't know. That doesn't sit well with me, Mark.
I would understand even halfway if there were a couple of goals given up that were just, you know, goals that you must have. But all 5 goals from the Generals have been quality goals.
Well, and the last one that went in, I mean, what a bounce off the equipment of Lobo for his first career OHL goal, I might add. But, I mean, I don't know. I don't love that. Big save there from Jovanovski, and they're doing it again. I don't love that, Mark. I really, really don't. I know you're frustrated as fans and you want to see the team playing better here. I don't like picking on a goaltender like that. They did it to Ellsworth, too. I don't know. I don't like that at all. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But I just don't like the way that looks. Soares trying to get that free, but Blasek makes a good play off the wall. Generals trying to get this in deep. They're offside. Smirnov just a stride ahead with 8:57 to go here in the second. 5-1 Generals.
But again, for the most part, what we're seeing from the Storm on the defensive side of things, it has been an improvement where they're keeping the Generals more to the outside. They're keeping the speedy wingers to the outside. And one of the reasons why we're not seeing as many shots on goal is because of this defense. They're keeping guys to the outside, and the Generals, they're not really taking advantage of those sharp angle shots that I'm used to seeing from them.
Well, Guelph's trying to take advantage of some more offensive pressure here. That gets through Beauchesne. He's going to take a penalty. That's Top. He let the puck come through him and stepped into his man. And Guelph, things going from bad to worse here. Top, one of their best defensive players, is going to sit, and the Generals will go back to the power play. They've scored on their only opportunity. And for Top there, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to play physical. That's your game, and spark your teammates. But the puck's going by you. You need goals. Get that puck. That's just a mistake there from Top. Again, I know what he's trying to do, and his game is built around physicality. You got to get the puck there. Well, the Generals will take the power play opportunity happily, and they'll win the draw. Posthumous, who's on Patrick watch, he puts it down low. That gets through Posthumous and Griffin. And Sandu will just calmly take this back in his own zone. They'll get away from Snellgrove and go chasing after this on this power play. Played nicely to the front, bouncing there on Lobo, and Jovanovski's got that. Lobo nearly having an opportunity for his second career goal, and Jovanovski holds on tight.
And Lobo just could not settle the puck down in time. Had a good chance, but when the puck is rolling on you, you got to take that extra second. Right there, he had to do that, but good job by Jovo to just get in front and get that puck down before really any danger could be amounted there from Lobo.
1:36 left on the minor to Top as the Generals are trying to add to this 5-1 lead. Storm trying to control here. They'll win the draw. Beauchesne trying to go off the glass. Can't get it clear. Posthumous to the front. Tipped and stopped by Jovanovski. Griffin interchanging up top. Gives to Sandu, and he bluffs a one-time opportunity. Beauchesne trying to hold the wall. Can't do it. Sandu. Nice play between the legs. Griffin. One-timer. That goes over the net. Bouncing in front. Still loose. Big stop there. Jovanovski was there. Heck of an opportunity on this power play. Posthumous. Minute left on the man advantage. Sandu. Oshawa threatening for more. Sandu. Knocked down low. Rogowski there. Griffin. Pushed over and finding Timmerman, who's fresh off the bench. Oshawa, lots of room to work up top. Griffin down low looking for a tip. That's wide. Beauchesne gets creamed in the face. And that will negate the last 30 seconds of this Oshawa power play as he took some punishment up high there. And it's Lobo, fresh off his first goal. He's going to sit for high sticking.
You just saw the replay there as Lobo and Beauchesne, their sticks got a bit tied up there. Good job by Beauchesne to tie his man up. Lobo doesn't like it, but he absolutely gets his stick up on Beauchesne. And well, the official's 2 feet away. He saw it the entire way.
And Lobo, he certainly doesn't do it on purpose. He's trying to get his shoulders to the outside, the left-handed shot. He's trying to go outside of Beauchene and reposition his stick. Unfortunately, Beauchene stepped a stride away from him. Great job by our replay crew. We got the best crew in the league. There's our buddy Tevin Sounds down in the box, looking sharp. And unfortunately, he just caught Beauchene, so we'll play a little 4-on-4, barring more penalties, for about 30 seconds, and then the Storm will enjoy an abbreviated power play, and they could really use something positive out of it. Under 7 to go here in the second, and the Storm have a long hill to climb. McLean finding Miedema down the wing. Miedema chipping it to himself, knocked away. Bloseg again with a good defensive stick. 16 is really sharp defensively. Rogowski opening room, and that's turned away by Jovanovski. Rogowski still with it. Good defensive stick from Singh to get it away from him, and the Storm are officially back on the man advantage. McLean on the carry. Pushed ahead to Stevens. Knocked away from him, and Sandu separates him from the puck and sends it all the way down. That's just a veteran play from a good defender. Under a minute here on this abbreviated Storm man advantage. Could really use a goal here. Dropped into the path of Wysick. He's bothered up the ice. Storm having all kinds of trouble finding a way into the offensive zone. Stevens restarting things from behind the net with Beauchene. Moves to the outside on the carry with 30 seconds left on this man advantage. They find Belahorski. It'll roll to Chalette, and he will control, and the Storm are just all out of sorts right now.
Right there, that's probably the best case scenario for the Storm to get the offensive zone draw here with 25 seconds left on the power play. The Generals were stacking the blue line, about 3 different guys, really causing a bit of havoc, and the Storm having to juggle the puck in the neutral zone as well. They really couldn't settle it down all too much amid the forechecker at the same time too. So here's an opportunity here with the offensive zone draw.
Generals win it. Ripped off the glass, that gets through Beauchene. Made a valiant effort to try and squeeze that, but it was way up off the ice. Miedema on a clean feed. Paquette's going to the front. Miedema tries to find him, and Paquette nearly stuffed that in. Their best scoring chance in a while. And the abbreviated power play is over. So the Storm are 0 for 3 on the man advantage tonight, and are still searching for their first power play goal of the season. And that was an opportunity they really needed to cash in on. Under 5 left here in the middle frame, and the Storm are in one. 5-1 Oshawa, and here comes Griffin looking for more. Griffin, nice drop feed, better stop there from Jovanovski on Lobo. Serlin the other direction. Stopping up, surveying. Skvortsov walking the line. Shot tipped in there. Chalette had to make a good stop. Paquette trying to throw it to the front. That's cut off by Lobo. And he's content to just flip it down. Skvortsov knocks this down and will settle it for top. Just over 4 left here in the second. Storm fans waiting for something to cheer about here in the middle frame. Haven't been able to erupt since Hunter McKenzie's lone goal for the team in the first. This poked through by Smirnov. Good defensive recovery from Spada, or Smirnov would have been in alone. Soares giving chase. Bodies his man up, trying to get that free. It'll roll back to the point. Spada's there. Spada coming down the wing. Chipped toward the front. Knocked in behind the net. Spada's still in pursuit. He gets knocked down. Soares with room. Soares, and he just blasted it wide. Another good scoring opportunity, and the Storm, they are snake bit tonight as Spada's a little ginger getting off the ice. Soares continues to dig away down low with Snellgrove. Generals have it here. Can they get it clear? Yes, they will. Beauchene with room to look. That gets through everybody and will land there on the stick of Franson. He steers it up to Rogowski, thrown in front through the seam, and Calto couldn't get that shot off. They tried to find Roberts on that seam play. Knocked down by Beauchene. High flipping puck as Calto gloves that down. Jovanovski makes the play to Beauchene, taken from him. Rogowski in front, and Jovanovski makes a pair of saves on him. Generals pressing here, nearly 6-1 there, and Jovanovski made the stop. This one sent the length. It's icing, and will step aside. Generals up 5-1 on Mark Wilson's Better Used Cars. Guelph Storm Hockey on Rogers TV.
This program is brought to you by Rogers Xfinity, connecting you to more of what you love. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
My OHL is a place where everyone feels welcome. So OHL diversity inclusion efforts are for each and everybody, whether it be a player, official, whether it be anyone within the staff, for each club or at the OHL offices, and certainly for every person that enters into one of our arenas and participates as a fan in one of our games.
Late stages of the second period at the Sleeman Center here, and the visiting Oshawa Generals a commanding 5-1 lead over the Guelph Storm. Ryan Drury alongside Mark Perry. Stick with us at the end of the period. After the break, our friend Isaac Carmichael will be chatting with second-year forward from Guelph, Carter Stevens, our player to watch tonight. Bluffed face-off. They got to do that again. And Mark, I mean, he's marking this one down so far as a rough night at the office. 25 shots. The Storm have had their chances. They just cannot seem to find a way to bury a puck, and then the mistakes the other way have really cost them so far.
I think at the end of the day, you can't necessarily throw it all away and say it's a rough night at the office. It's just one of those nights where, again, I think you said it before, snake bitten on offense, and the defense just hasn't been there.
And the Generals have not needed a lot of opportunities to build this 5-1 lead. They've just made good on the ones that were presented to them. And, I mean, you cannot fault this young Generals team for that. And, I mean, the frustration on the part of the Storm, I mean, certainly from the Storm coaching staff will be, the Generals are missing their two best players. Ben Danford is still with the Maple Leafs at camp, and Beckett Seneca a fixture at Ducks camp. Here comes Hapanenko around the net. Drop back for top, tipped in front by Belahorski, who again continues to be dangerous out there for Guelph.
Yeah, Simon Wang also at Sharks camp too.
That's right. This Generals team is shorthanded. Thrown in front. Hapanenko couldn't get good wood on that. Well defended by Lobo. Swung around. Belahorski had to rush to get a new twig. He's tied up by Griffin. Belahorski comes away with it. He's sealed up nicely by Murnane. Good spin away there from Sandu. He'll throw that right up the middle. This puck probably does not have enough. It does not for icing. So we play on. Approaching the final minute of play here in the second. Generals on the rim around. And they'll go chasing after this as Jovanovski had to come out and sweep at that so Calto couldn't get a shot in. He was splitting the defense. Miedema hard charging down the wing. Miedema on the puck. Paquette firing, big save by Cholette. Paquette's had a couple of good opportunities too. Tried to find him again, couldn't. Spada holding serve. Using his size to protect the puck. He's in the corner. fired in, and that's blocked on the way, and the Generals are away with it here with Roberts. He comes charging in, peels back, drop feed right to Serlin though. 10 seconds left. Can the Storm get one more rush out of this? Serlin in, he'll just dump it down low. That'll do it for 40 minutes here, as the Generals will skate to the locker room with a 5-1 lead over a bewildered Guelph Storm group. Stick with us after the break. Isaac Carmichael will chat with Carter Stevens here at the Sleeman Center on Mark Wilson's Better Used Cars Guelph Storm Hockey on Rogers TV.
Public transit, garbage pickup, parks and recreation programs, snow removal on your street. How can you stay informed about these and other important local services? Tune to City Council coverage on Rogers TV. See your community leaders at work on Rogers TV City Council coverage.
Everybody knows not to drink and drive, but some people still think it's okay to take drugs and drive. Police have the authority, the ability, and the tools to determine if drivers are impaired by legal or illegal drugs. And because drug-impaired drivers can pose just as great a risk as drunk drivers, they face the same penalties, like the loss of their driver's license, a criminal record, fines, and more. A message from the RCMP, the Canadian Association of Chiefs of Police, and Arrive Alive Drive Sober.
Public transit, garbage pickup, parks and recreation programs, snow removal on your street. How can you stay informed about these and other important local services? Tune to City Council coverage on Rogers TV. See your community leaders at work on Rogers TV City Council coverage.
Please welcome the Fantastic Four.
We do family dinner every week.
How's that sauce? Okay.
Your planet is marked for death.
We will protect you.
As a family.
Johnny, quit screwing around!
I tell you how to drive the ship, don't tell me how to kill sexy aliens!
Marvel Studios' The Fantastic Four.
Hi, I'm Mike Farwell, and I'd like to invite you into this studio every weekday from 9 until 1 for a show that I think you're going to like. It's called The Mike Farwell Show, and it deals with the issues of the day. Local, provincial, national, even international. You'll hear from the newsmakers, and you'll get the chance to make news yourself when you call in and share your opinion. If you want to know what's going on in your community, The Mike Farwell Show is the place to find out.
Welcome back to Mark Wilson's Better Used Cars Guelph Storm Hockey on Rogers TV. Here with Carter Stevens. And Carter, entering your second year this year, what was it different? Was there a different feeling when you enter the Sleeman Center for the second time around as opposed to the first time last year?
Yeah, obviously just everything's the same. Last year coming here, new family, new teammates, new coaches and everything. So just feeling normal and just the confidence factor too, knowing I belong here, and just that goes into it too.
You were always one of the youngest players on each line in your rookie season. Now you have Shabinski and Weissig early on as your line mates. You're the older person of the line. How's it feel to be the veteran presence for that line?
Yeah, I know it's just my second year, but being able to tell them stuff that I learned from my first year, and I think we have a lot of good chemistry going, and we got to keep that going into the third here.
You had a good start already with the goal and assist last Friday. You had a good rookie season. What have you been preparing for this second year over the offseason? What are you getting ready for this year?
Yeah, just trying to work on my speed. I think that was the biggest factor coming in here. I knew it's a fast league, but I think if I can gain that step, that was my goal this offseason, and so far it's working out well.
You and Alex McLean both entered the league last season. We talked about you mentoring kids. You might have one off the ice as well with Alex McLean. Explain your relationship that you're able to develop over the last few seasons.
Yeah, being with him, I'm almost with him every day, so yeah, it's good. Sometimes maybe he gets on my nerves, but no. Just having him there, such a good player, and I think our bond kind of goes into the game, and I think we can use that friendship kind of into the game, and yeah, it's really good.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Carter. Best of luck in the third.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back. You're watching Mark Wilson's Better Used Cars Guelph Storm Hockey on Rogers TV.
should never have agreed to this last race. She's too old. Eddie! The cops will have your back! Get to it, man!
Appears there's some kind of difficulty.
There seems to be something loose up there, I believe. The console's foul!
Just once more, little girl, and you can rest.
Her last race and still undefeated, the Blue Nose out of Lunenburg, Nova Scotia was fastest in the world for almost 20 years.
Rogers TV Community News focuses on what impacts you in and around Waterloo Region and beyond. It's a twice-weekly look at important issues. Rogers TV Community News, Mondays at 5 p.m. and Fridays at 6 p.m.
Aging Well brings you conversations with experts to help empower your golden years with enthusiasm and optimism. Don't miss Aging Well with Angela and Alice Liu, Mondays at 7 p.m.
After a night out with your friends, there's always options for getting home safely. You could call your BFF, your mom or dad, whoever you can count on for a safe ride home. You could call your favorite cab company or 1-888 taxi guy. Or you could use the Arrive Alive smartphone app to help you choose your ride. Be it a friend, transit, or taxi, getting home safely is app easy. Now available for iOS and Android devices. Visit arrivealive.org to find out more. Arrive Alive. Drive sober.
Welcome back to Mark Wilson's Barrie Used Cars, Guelph Storm Hockey on Rogers TV. Joined with the Commissioner of the Greater Ontario Hockey League, Craig Spada. Big news here coming out, Craig, this season. The Greater Ontario Hockey League now the official affiliate of the Ontario Hockey League. Maybe you just want to talk about that relationship and how it's benefiting both your league and the Ontario Hockey League.
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity for the players. That's what we've done this for. A lot of times, the adults get in the way, and we've provided a pathway. I think that's very important. When you come out of minor hockey, sometimes you don't know where you're going to play exactly and how it's going to work out. But I think we've set up a really nice path for the player, and to move up and down. He might be with us half a year, a young player, and but what a benefit that is, of course.
And we see a lot of players have success from your league into the Ontario Hockey League in the past. Oliver Bonk, Easton Cowan, to name a few. Braden Gillespie also played with Ayr before coming to the Guelph Storm and having some success here. So the league has definitely had its prior success developing players, and now we're going to get to see that more often with more of the teams in the Ontario Hockey League.
Yeah, that's our objective, obviously, to make sure that we provide a pathway. Players develop at different times, 16, 17, 18, and I think that we can certainly provide that path now this way. The OHL maybe not being as nervous to keep a player up, provided they know they can get them back quite easily from us. So I think it's an advantage for all.
Your son Grant here on the Guelph Storm was just in Tampa Bay for the training camp. What's it like following your son's career and seeing how much success he's had so far?
Yeah, it's a little different. I'm here as a father tonight. You guys caught me off guard, but other than that, no, it's very exciting to see him do well, of course. And it's a dream. There's so much work ahead for him, but the Guelph organization's been amazing with him, and he's certainly respectable from George and the coaches. Just a great experience for him.
You were an official 200 or just over 200 NHL games. You also officiated the OHL Memorial Cup, the American Hockey League with the Calder Cup Finals. What was your biggest and most fond memory officiating some of the best hockey here in North America?
Hockey in general is just a great thing, and the games were so exciting each and every game, and the travel and the guys. But I mean, the Game 7 of the Calder Cup was pretty exciting because it was here in Hamilton, nearby, and it was sold out. And I think it still holds the record for the most attended. So that was pretty a special night.
Are you a Tampa Bay fan now that Grant's in the organization, or are you sticking with your prior team?
I grew up in Fort Erie, so Buffalo was just across the border, so I pretty much spent a lot of time in that arena, but you have to become that for the moment.
All right, now he's a division rivals with the Buffalo Sabres. That's perfect. All right, thanks, Greg.
Thanks for having me.
And best of luck with the Development League and the affiliation with the Ontario Hockey League.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, we'll be right back. You're watching Mark Wilson's Barrie Used Cars, Guelph Storm Hockey on Rogers TV.
It's closing time, and you stayed out longer than you planned. So now you can't drive, and the buses have stopped running. You could always call your girlfriend. Or maybe your roommate? What about your best friend? You could just dial 1-888-TAXI-GUY or use the Taxi Guy app. The call and the app are free, and they both connect you to a local cab company to bring you home safely. Visit arrivealive.org to find out more. Arrive Alive, drive sober.
Rogers TV Community News focuses on what impacts you in and around Waterloo Region and beyond. It's a twice-weekly look at important issues. Rogers TV Community News, Mondays at 5 p.m. and Fridays at 6 p.m.
Behold Emily Carr, painter, about to encounter the force that will consume her life.
Tightly they sealed their secrets from me, humble and pleading before the great trees, awaiting the invitation from the Spirit to come meet me halfway. Nothing is still now, everything is alive. At last, I knew I must see through the eye of the totem itself, the mythic eye of the forest.
Seldom able to live by her brush, before she died in 1945, Emily Carr was in the first rank of Canadian painters.
This is my country. What I want to express is here, and I love it. Amen.
Hi, Pastor Mark here. Join us each and every week on Sundays. All are welcome, no exceptions. That is St. Peter's Church, every Sunday at 11 a.m. God bless. We'll see you soon.
Welcome back inside the Sleeman Center, getting ready for the third period of play here on Mark Wilson's Better Used Cars Guelph Storm Hockey on Rogers TV. 5-1 the score. The Oshawa Generals up ahead of the Guelph Storm. Let's take a look at the highlights from that second period. Just the two goals to talk about, including 52 seconds in. Owen Griffin, the Columbus Blue Jackets prospect, going low on Zach Jovanovski, who took over the cage for Colin Ellsworth to start the period. That made it 4-1, and then right here, Jalen Lobo with his first career Ontario Hockey League goal. Bounces off the leg, off the, I guess you can even say the quadricep area, and deflects in. Hasn't been any gimmies here tonight, as the Oshawa Generals, all 5 goals tonight, have been full marks. Some deflections, just catching guys going the other way and getting numbers going on the counterattack. But the shots on goal, 27-12 in favor of the Storm, as they have led that category all throughout the night, getting their opportunities. They just have not been able to solve Jaden Cholette as much as they have wanted to. Third period on the other side. Don't go anywhere. We have lots to get into here on Mark Wilson's Better Used Cars Guelph Storm Hockey here on Rogers TV.
In the high-pressure food world, bitter feuds and intense rivalries are everywhere.
We got some beef.
I'm inviting chefs with real-life grudges to settle the score in head-to-head culinary matchups. You feel that Brad is stealing your content and your recipes?
Yeah, not even doing a good job at doing it.
Today, we settle the score. Are you ready for a grudge match?
Chef Grudge Match, Tuesday at 9.
After a night out with your friends, not having a plan for a safe ride home can leave you in a bad spot. You could end up riding in a police car, an ambulance, or a hearse. These unplanned modes of transportation can be a costly choice and do not take you home. Your plan could include a designated driver, a taxi, or public transit. Drink responsibly, choose your ride, and have a plan for a safe ride home.
Visit arrivealive.org to find out more.
You know the story. When the RCAF said Mach 2 fighter, 2 place 1,000-mile range, the British said it was impossible. The Yanks tried twice and failed. They said, you're dreaming. We said, fine, we'll build it right here in Toronto. And now you guys, my guys, are saying that it can't be done, that they were right?
Now that's the rocket that we use to get the model up to speed, and then the onboard sensors tell us that...
Come on, baby.
Damn it! But we did it according to your specs. The specs have changed. We did it.
Arrow 201. You cleared for takeoff. We did it!
Although the government cancelled the project and destroyed the prototypes, the Avro Arrow remains for Canada a world benchmark in aerospace achievement.
Welcome back inside the Sleeman Center, getting ready for the third period of play. One of 7 games in the Ontario Hockey League here on this Friday night. Let's take a look around the horn in the OHL. It's the import show in North Bay, but it is the Ottawa 67s with a 2-0 lead as Jasper Kuda and Andre Rummel with both of their first career Ontario Hockey League goals as the 67s have that 2-0 lead. Still 1-0 London over Brampton in the second period. Actually, that one just starting the third period now. Hayden Ellis with his first goal of the season. He has tied it for the Kitchener Rangers. 1-1 against the Erie Otters at the Kitchener Memorial Auditorium after 2. 4-3 Sault Ste. Marie. They were up 2-1. It is now 4-3. Jordan Charon with a pair of goals for the Greyhounds in that one. To the other side of the border in Saginaw, the Spirit trailing Niagara 4-3. The Spirit were up 2-0, but Niagara have scored 4 times in the second period, including 2 from Ethan Zada, the Tampa Bay Lightning prospect. His second goal, a buzzer beater with just 1 second to go in the period. So again, Niagara 4, Saginaw 3. 5-1 scoreline. The Sarnia Sting with a 5-1 lead on the Sudbury Wolves. The Sting with a 5-0 lead in that one before Hudson Chitteroni broke the goose egg for the Wolves. Again, they are in the midst of a 3-3 weekend as we have taken a look around the O. Again, a 5-1 scoreline here in the Sleeman Center tonight, and one more scoreline to get to, because I know there's a lot of Jays fans that are tuning in to tonight's game here as well, maybe doing some double screen work as well, as that race for the AL East title continues to be red hot. Both the Blue Jays and the Yankees are up in their games right now. The Yankees up 6-4 on the Baltimore Orioles in the top of the 6th. It is the end of the 6th at the Rogers Center in Toronto. The Blue Jays with a 4-2 lead. How about this? Nathan Lucas with a home run to help the Blue Jays get the lead in that one. And, you know, that kind of even goes into a conversation here tonight here at the Sleeman Center. Sometimes it takes that unlikely source to really kickstart something, and I think the Guelph Storm are looking up and down that bench to say, okay, who's going to be the one to start it here? We're down by 4. We need something. We need it soon. We need to get that momentum back on our side, get the crowd into it. Who's going to be the one to do it?
And I think that they're going to be looking for a big pushback here. By the way, the Orioles top 6, they have the bases loaded. There's 2 out, but hopefully the Orioles can do some damage there in the Bronx. I think that you have to look down Highway 7 at your rivals, the team that you're competing to try and host the Memorial Cup with next season. Home opener in Kitchener. They're down 3-0 to the Brantford Bulldogs, a team a lot of people picked to win the title. They have a heroic comeback, win it in overtime off the back of some magic from Tanner Lamb. This is a 4-goal deficit. You got to get it all back in one period, too. Stranger things have happened. You got to get off to a good start here in this frame, as Jovanovski will poke away that attempt from Lobo, who has his first career OHL goal on the ledger tonight. Miedema, bad turnover. Chance here for the Generals as Lobo fires that. Jovanovski's got it. And you have got to throw everything you can at the youngster in net in Jaden Cholette, who was not even a part of this franchise just a couple days ago.
And you think about this Oshawa Generals team, you know, they can be vulnerable in the third period. Don't forget, they gave up 4 goals in the third period against Kingston on Sunday. So they know that, you know, they could fall apart if they don't play 100% on the defensive side of things here in the third period.
Pushed wide of the net of Jovanovski, who came in to start the second period in relief of tonight's starter, Colin Ellsworth. Stevens cleanly over the line. Charging down the wing, thrown to the front. McLean with a couple of good opportunities, still loose and poked wide. McLean had 2 good whacks in tight. Could not beat Cholette. Roberts landed for him, swept in right to Rowan Top. Quick up feed. Left there for Stevens over the line. Can't chip through the defender. Skvortsov steps into his man, but it comes free of the zone. The Storm and the Generals will both oblige with changes. Roberts on that quick up feed. He'll knock it in deep. Beauchene. Flip feed will not reach Hapanenko. Not near enough starch on that. Frassard. Quick up, that'll get as far as the red line. Bloseg, who has been excellent defensively tonight for the visitors, he gets it back in. Beauchene up the boards. This will bounce and land for Beauchene. Quick up feed finds Hapanenko. Hapanenko waiting for some traffic to go to the net. That will end up in behind the cage. Easy exit for Cormier, who finds Sandu jumping into the rush. Thrown through the seam as Smirnov gets knocked down by Jovanovski as he went charging to the front. Beauchene trying to dangle his way through 4 Generals. Could not get that last move through. Jovanovski will settle this. Leaving it here, trying to push it up the ice there is Soers. He got cut off on the way. Serlin there to help out. He'll get it in deep as Soers goes crashing in on the forecheck. Serlin trying to bother Franson, who spins and makes a play up the wall. Generals looking to get out here, and they're not going to yet. Now they will. Puck was bouncing around there as Serlin gets it right back in. Serlin into the path of Singh, fires, that's blocked. Franson, who again we've talked about, is a centerman playing defense. What a shot block. Storm still threatening offensively. Serlin in behind, trying to throw it to the front there, bouncing for Soers, who has it in his feet. Singh trying to find Soers off the wall, turned over, and the Generals will find an exit route courtesy of the flip from Porter Bird Leitner. Storm trying to catch them on a quick change. Miedema down low into the path of the captain. There's Paquette. He gets bodied up, but handled the puck well. Top fires looking for the tip. That got through. Griffin now on the skate out. Finds Posthumus, who's made a heck of a mark on this game. He has 2 goals. Paquette. Quick for Top, off the glass. Funny bounce off the stanchion. Luckily, Skvortsov was there to handle that. That gets through Paquette. No icing. It hit him on the way, the linesman said. But Murnane quickly on it defensively, and now the Storm off a quick turnover trying to cause damage. Paquette on the toe drag, it rolled on him. He could not get a shot away. Now here comes the Generals on a 2-on-1. It's Griffin, fires, scores. Griffin buries that blocker side. It is 6-1, touchdown Generals.
Rowan Top gets caught trying to run his man over just inside the Oshawa blue line. Nobody comes back. Turns into a 2-on-1. Griffin looks, waits, shoots into the back of the net for his second goal of the game.
This is one of those nights where, I mean, if you're the Storm and you're Corey Stillman, you're looking down your whole bench right now, and when this game ends, you'll be having, I would call it a frank conversation with your group, because this has turned into an effort that is simply not acceptable, Mark.
And when you look at the guys that are in the lineup here tonight too, Yeah, you basically have all your guys back minus Luchenko.
Belahorski in tight, trying to dangle and get a goal on the board. He was turned aside. Down low, stuff play there. Stevens put it off the side of the net. Quick shot, loose in front, battling away Stevens. And Cholette has got that. And I mean, you look who's not in the lineup for the Generals. And I'll say this for Oshawa too. Don't be surprised if this is the type of gritty effort that this young team has all season. I know a lot of people are looking at them after those deep runs and saying, okay, they're going to be in a transitionary period. Mario Pouliot, their head coach, a guy who has made some history in this league. He's the only head coach in Canadian Hockey League history to win the Memorial Cup back-to-back seasons with 2 different teams. He did it in 2018, his last year with Acadie Bathurst Titan, and then he did it the following year in 2019 with that loaded Rouyn-Noranda Huskies team.
Yeah,
he is a details guy.
And this franchise in Guelph, very familiar with the Huskies. Remember, it was the Storm that lost in the semifinal to those Huskies in 2019 out in Halifax.
That team, man,
that was an unbelievable team.
That Huskies team was just unbelievable, and Pouliot was the architect of that. He was actually the coach and GM of Rouyn-Noranda that year after coming over from Acadie Bathurst in what was a very successful tenure there. So he's a very detail-oriented, old-school guy. Generals fire that in. Jovanovski through traffic. He took a slash and then gave it right back. Right in front there, exchanging sticks, Ben Cormier and Jovanovski. And you can understand Jovanovski's frustration. But yeah, Pouliot, I mean, he's just a heck of a coach and a heck of a get for this Generals team.
Yeah, hired him in March just to kind of get a lay of the land, and then ultimately they end up putting him into the head coaching position to start the season.
Generals trying to threaten for more here with under 14 to go in regulation. It has been a long evening here for the Storm, and the fans who continue to flow into the Sleeman Center. The atmosphere in here because of the fans is always great as Spada goes hard to the net, and that's going to draw the ire of the Generals. And Spada, who's always willing to go as he tumbles over a stick, was pushing and shoving.
Former teammates getting in the middle of that, and Sandu and Spada.
We'll step aside. Generals up big here on Mark Wilson's Better Used Cars Guelph Storm Hockey on Rogers TV.
This program is brought to you by Rogers Xfinity, connecting you to more of what you love. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Aging Well brings you conversations with experts to help empower your golden years with enthusiasm and optimism. Don't miss Aging Well with Angela and Alice Liu, Mondays at 7 p.m.
David Prang from the Chamber of Commerce Brantford Brant speaks with community members about events and organizations that impact the city of Brantford and the county of Brant. Chamber TV, Thursdays at 6:30 p.m., right here on Rogers TV.
Back here at the Sleeman Center with 13:43 left in regulation. We'll get some matching roughing minors for Grant Spada and Zach Sandu, and the Oshawa Generals continue to enjoy what is now a 6-1 lead. Owen Griffin adding to it here in the third. Smirnov opening the scoring, followed by Posthumous. Hunter McKenzie got one back just as a power play expired in the first, but then Posthumous 4 seconds later with an absolute cheddar shredder got the lead right back. In the second, Griffin and Lobo, his first career OHL goal, that one coming on the power play, and that's where we sit. 6-1 Generals. Paquette charging in. Drop feed. Can't get a shot through. Paquette leaving it there in the path of a teammate who could not get that shot through. That was Snellgrove. Storm just looking for anything. Good tip in there from Beauchesne, but Cholette, as he's been all night, right there. Paquette working on this 4-on-4. Paquette trying to dangle through, gets through. Paquette still, and could not get the shot off as it just rolled in there on Cholette. Here's Singh, fires, that's blocked. Bit of extra ice out there for everyone. Here comes Posthumous. He can really fire it. He does here, and it just went wide. The Storm almost guilty of too many men on the ice there. Belahorski rushed to get off. Storm trying to find an exit lane. Top steps into his man. Good thing he did. That would have been a breakaway for Rogowski, who's battling for it down low, chasing Top. Singh, quick up feed, finds man to McLean. They got a 2-on-1 if they hurry. McLean into the middle. McLean fires, loose there, and Cholette collapses on it. Miedema's complaining it was loose as he was there digging away, and his pleas will be ignored by the officials. Cholette, probably the toughest save he's had to make tonight.
Yeah, you like that patience for McLean as he cuts to the top of the slot, takes the shot. Miedema crashing the net there at the same time too, and there you see the argument. The puck was sitting there on the right side of the pad of Cholette, but the official had already blown the whistle. And you can see now Miedema and Corey Stillman having words on the bench, trying to solve what's happening not only in his individual game, but in the Storm game here tonight.
Yeah, and again, I would be genuinely curious to be a fly on the wall in the Storm room at the end of this contest, because for Corey Stillman, a guy who certainly wants this team to be a little more detail-oriented, build on the young talent that they do have assembled here, he's just not going to be thrilled with what he has seen here tonight. I mean, let's be frank here, Mark, he can't be. 6-1, the advantage here for the visitors from Oshawa, who look well on their way to earning their first win of the season. Singh, quick over, Top, he'll fire, oh, and that just rolled through. Wysick on the tip there, and it just rolled astray. Storm still pressuring. Singh at the point, fires, looking for that tip. It hit Hapanenko on the way. Wysick in behind, drove quickly to the front. Cholette with a fine stop there on Hapanenko. And Cholette, he has been very solid when called upon. He looks like he's going to fit in just fine for Mario Pouliot's squad. He has put in a shift and a half here in the cage tonight.
37 saves.
Blase, he's content to just get it in deep. Beauchesne, puck rolling on him. He's able to settle it and keep it away from Rogowski. Just about at the halfway mark of the final frame here at the Sleeman Center. Serlin revving it up. Gets over the line, makes a nice move there offside. And I did see Serlin, his father Joey, who's of course the guitar player of the legendary rock band The Watchmen, played a show here in Southern Ontario just the other night, and he was rocking the Guelph Storm hat. Nice to see the support from Mr. Serlin.
Great touch, great touch.
He's got the music hands, his son's got the hockey hands. Pretty good genetics there for the Serlin clan. And the Watchmen, legendary rock band. So the Generals able to clear, Skvortsov spinning, Rogowski bothering him. Belahorski bounced on him. Beauchesne will roll it through, as Belahorski, who has had a lot of good-looking opportunities tonight, tries to chase that down. Can't quite get there in time. This chip through, that escapes the skate of Beauchesne. And are they going to call that icing? No. One of the linesmen was yelling for icing, but they ended up waving that off. 9.5 and ticking left here in the third. And the Generals up 6-1. They're in no hurry to push the pace. And why would they be? Tom skating smoothly over the line. He fires, that's blocked on the way. Snellgrove Has to escape the forecheck of Toms. And leaves it in behind for Skvortsov to carry away. Paquette flicked into the far corner, and Snellgrove's there on it first. Couldn't get that through cleanly for Miedema. And that will allow the Generals to get it out. Toms, nice feed, finding his teammate. That's fired just wide. Peeled in there off the stick of Teixeira, who is in pursuit of his former teammate Ryland Singh on the carry here. Smoothly through neutral. Singh still on the carry. Nice drop feed to Miedema. Right in front for Singh. Good opportunity. Good tip in. Better stop from Cholette.
One of the best saves of the night by Jaden Cholette. The man goes right to the front of the net. Just a simple give and go play. Singh gives it over and just goes straight toward the goal. Gets by Sandu. But Cholette is able to make himself look big there as a little bit of pushing and shoving after the whistle. But, you know, again, I've said it before. You haven't really seen much in terms of 10-feller saves by Cholette because he's been so square to the puck. He's been seeing it very well, even on deflections.
Very sound positionally tonight. He's had a couple dicey moments that he was able to recover and make some acrobatic stops.
And he's a big guy too, 6'3", 195, so he's got some size to boot, and I'm pretty sure those pads will be changing to red and white very soon.
Yeah, I think they'll keep him.
I think so.
I think they'll keep him. That puck deflected into the Oshawa bench, so we'll get a draw just outside their zone with 8:11 to go. As Mark mentioned earlier, next week, the tests don't get any easier. Saginaw and London on the docket for the Storm. Good chance there from Wysek, and that got shouldered away by Cholette, who continues to build on his save total. With one more, he'll stretch it into the 40s. Apanenko swing that down low. Stormer on it with Shabinski. Top, fires, that's blocked on the way. Generals are on it. Apanenko giving pursuit, knocking his man down. That was Lashon. Turned over here. Firing Wysek. That's turned away by Cholette. Shabinski tried to go back door. No one was there. Wysek with a good scoring opportunity. Cholette right there. Shabinski fires around the net. That's turned aside too. And we are creeping closer and closer to, I know Posthumous has 2 tonight, as does Griffin. But Cholette's performance here, we're creeping closer and closer to first star territory. Swords charging through neutral. In the feet of his teammate, that's McKenzie. He couldn't get it through, and here comes Oshawa. Calto swept toward the front, nobody home. Blaseg activating from the point. That gets through Serlin and Roberts. Serlin trying to chase it down. Roberts beats him to it. Oh, McKenzie, he was looking for big contact there. Blaseg saw him coming and got out of the way. That could have been thunderous. Rogowski doing a good job on the defenders. Blaseg fires, that got through. Jovanovski got a piece, and it's up into the netting.
I think he's already there, Ryan. 41 saves on the night. Your team being badly outshot, and you still would have a 6-1 lead. Yes, you get some of your goals in the early going and, you know, develop some momentum that way. 3 goals in the first period for the Oshawa Generals. But I think Cholette's been the story overall. Yes, you can say the goals have been there for the Generals, but the goaltender's been there as well. You don't have to be spectacular to be really good and be a star of a game. He's been there the entire night.
Well, and the performance in its totality is spectacular. Because yes, he hasn't had to make any Patrick Waugh 1986 windmill saves that'll show up on a highlight reel for the rest of his career. But he's been very, very solid and done all the little things right mechanically. He's had a heck of a performance here. He'll get tested once more, maybe. In front, Stevens. He got a good opportunity. That got turned away. They just cannot solve this guy. McLean trying to spin away from pressure. Interchange with Beauchene up top. Skvortsov looking for a shot here. That got blocked. Whoa. Did that catch Sandu in a rough spot? Yes, it did. He's going to get up. We'll step aside. Generals up big on Mark Wilson's Better Used Cars, Guelph Storm Hockey on Rogers TV.
This program is brought to you by Rogers Xfinity, connecting you to more of what you love. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
My OHL is a place where men respect women. We do training around healthy masculinity, consent, and how to be a leader in ending gender-based violence. Creating that awareness and that safe space for players is really important, and just being able to help foster growth in understanding their role in gender-based violence is huge.
Welcome back to Mark Wilson's Better Used Cars Guelph Storm Hockey on Rogers TV. The Guelph Storm go back on the road south of the border to play the Saginaw Spirit. They'll be right back here at the Sleeman Center to play that same Spirit squad next Friday night at the Sleeman Center. We'll have all the action for you at 7 o'clock right on Rogers TV. Now let's send things back upstairs to Ryan and Mark.
Thank you very much, Mr. Carmichael. Yes, we'll see you back here next Friday. Mark it in your calendar. The Spirit will be in town. And first, the Storm, as he mentioned, will go down there to try and right the ship after tonight's effort. And an effort in Barrie that wasn't very friendly to the Storm either. And here comes a 2-on-1 developing here. Griffin hard charging in. Griffin, good defensive stick on the recovery there from Snellgrove to not allow Griffin a potential chance at a hat trick. Guelph will ice the puck, though.
Should mention that next Friday night's game against Saginaw, one of the few games this year that will not be on Rogers TV, but we will have the call. If you do have a FloHockey subscription, you will still be able to see the streaming of that game next Friday night against the Spirit. But Rogers TV, it's one of 3 games that will not be brought to you on the cable network here this season here at the Sleeman Center.
You're right. We will be joining our friends at Cujo Entertainment, who will have the handle on all the technical side of things. But we will still see you on FloHockey, and we're pleased to be on FloHockey as the Friday night feature game tonight. So we appreciate everybody tuning in and watching. And if you're a Generals fan, you are very excited about the effort you've seen here tonight. Under 5 to go here, and they are up comfortably 6-1. Stormer offside. And again, just a night where they just have not been able to solve the goaltender. There's another look at what happened to Zach Sandu. Our well wishes to him. He went right down the tunnel after catching that puck in a real sensitive area. He was favoring his right hand as he went off the ice, and we are hoping for the best for Zach, who a former Stormer, great kid to deal with, and we're certainly hoping that he's not dealing with anything very serious after blocking that shot. This will go down the ice, and Top will outrace Calto and ensure that that's icing. And Mark, you know, you look at tonight and a lot of shots, and that was something from last year that Corey Stillman also hinted out, wanting to generate more shots and more opportunities. They've certainly done that. It's everything from the red line back tonight that's been a little out of sorts for him and the coaching staff.
Yeah, I think they were trying to develop offense just in the offensive zone and not really, you know, trying to set up opportunities from the back end in. You know, sometimes it takes a good defense to spring a good offense.
Well, they'll go back to the drawing board after this one, I'm sure, as the Storm are able to clear the zone, batted back in by the Generals, who are looking to just kill the rest of the clock off here. 4 minutes and ticking left here in Guelph. Shabinsky digging away with Smirnov, who opened the scoring tonight. Generals getting contributions all over their lineup. A lot of good defensive performances, notwithstanding the goaltender who's been unbelievable. Jaden Cholette in his first action here on the road, and he's just been fantastic tonight.
And this is exactly the confidence boost you need if you're the Generals. 0-2 to start the year. You have a big game here, and then you got to host Oshawa in 48 hours. Or you got to host Windsor in 48 hours, I should say.
A very tough opponent and a team that looks to be one of the powerhouses in the Western Conference this year, and they'll be very happy with this effort tonight as Mario Pouliot's squad are on their way to the first victory of the season. Soares with a slapper, and that's sticked aside by Cholette. I think Blosseg's been excellent tonight. Griffin and Posthumous offensively have just been so dangerous. Griffin excellent in his own zone as well. Murnane has stuck out defensively. I mean, they have gotten a very solid top-to-bottom contribution throughout their bench tonight. Here comes Toms with a nice move. Toms on the toe drag, can't quite pull the move off as Beauchesne got spilled behind the play. He's just getting his feet back, and he's going to be up and he'll stay out there. Jovanovski, who did not start tonight, he came in to start the second in relief of Ellsworth, both of them allowing 3 goals for the 6 that are up there for the Generals. Here's Belahorski, one of the only real offensive threats consistently tonight for the Storm. Dropped through the feet there of Beauchesne. Belahorski over to rescue. Makes a nice pass. Beauchesne jumping into the play, can't get a shot through. Held in nicely. Skvortsov making almost a catcher frame there, making sure the linesman saw, hey, I've got that over the line. Looking like Alejandro Kirk out there. Murnane leaving it here, and very good to see, obviously, Franson playing it up. We're hoping that Zach Sandu is all right. I think I see him down there on the bench, as he blocked a shot in a real awkward spot earlier in this frame, and we're hoping that 72 is all right. Here comes Calto. Calto firing. Loose in front, they'll score. Calto fires, and it's knocked in by Roberts. His second of the season. There's the extra point. 7-1 Generals.
Generals here on the counter attack. They go wide left with numbers, and Roberts just beats his man to the doorstep. Bouncing puck, and just knock away the garbage, as that'll put just an exclamation point on what has been a great offensive effort here from the Oshawa Generals, taking advantage of the opportunities that they've been given.
Yeah, it's been a rough night defensively for the Storm, and kudos to this young Generals team for coming in here. And yeah, I mean, I can't really put it much better than that, Mark. Take advantage, yes. We're going to get a late penalty here, as I think Spada is going to be the guilty party. He's going to want to be careful. He just cross-checked a man hard after the whistle. He got his stick in there on Lucas Teixeira, and I would think that they'll probably send Spada to the showers.
Yeah, this is the point in the game where things have gotten really out of hand. Less than a minute to go.
Yeah, they're going to bring him to the box. I thought that extra shot on Teixeira would maybe send him. That's not what he got the penalty for. He dragged Smirnov down. But they're going to let Spada sit there, and he'll be sitting there wondering, as you'll see the play here. He drags Smirnov down, arm up.
Yeah, kind of a bear hug around the shoulder area, drags him down.
Here comes the cross check. No, he just grabbed Teixeira's head, but even still, I mean, they still haven't put the 7 up on the big board. It is 7-1, I promise, as the Generals will get a very late power play here with 40 seconds left on the clock. And a night to forget here for the Storm, who are going to be asking some serious questions after this one. It's very early in the season. I mean, like, let's not panic over this, but when you have a game like this go the way it has, you got to have a serious look at the tape and a serious look in the mirror and go, hey, guys, we can't do this. Roberts, Timmerman dancing up top. Roberts settling. Timmerman, far side, no hurry, into the middle. Roberts fires, and that will be it. A statement win for their first victory on the season, as the Oshawa Generals will skate out of here with a 7-1 victory. We will take a quick break, come back with your 3 stars and a wrap up here on Mark Wilson's Better Used Cars Guelph Storm Hockey on Rogers TV.
Hey everybody, the Rangers are back September the 19th, and so is this week in Rangers Nation. I'm excited to bring you season 2 of everything in Rangers Nation. You're gonna love it. Catch it on Rogers TV every Friday night at 6:30.
After a night out with your friends, there's always options for getting home safely. You could call your BFF, your mom or dad, whoever you can count on for a safe ride home. You could call your favorite cab company or 1-888 taxi guy. Or you could use the Arrive Alive smartphone app to help you choose your ride. Be it a friend, transit, or taxi, getting home safely is app easy. Now available for iOS and Android devices. Visit arrivealive.org to find out more. Arrive Alive, drive sober.
Go.
You can't do this, Jacques. It's never been done before.
Mr. Blake.
You can't see down with that thing.
Mr. Blake.
Jacques. What?
They're coming.
Hold them up. Find something. Jacques, I'm telling you for the last time.
Are the Canadians finished? His plan coming back on the ice. Come on, give us something, will you?
Please,
how many stitches? Gentlemen, please.
Hey, Tommy, you got something to say to the people in the
On November 1st, 1959, Jacques Plante of the Montreal Canadiens broke with tradition.
You're a brave man, Mr. Plant, standing up to him like that.
And changed the face of hockey forever.
Hello, be sure to join me on Mondays at 8 p.m. here on Rogers TV for Lions TV Bingo. And starting this summer, we're going to have a new kind of card. So remember, new cards for the same great game every Monday, Lions TV Bingo.
Back here wrapping things up at the Sleeman Center, a 7-1 victory for the Generals over the Guelph Storm here tonight. And Ryan Dre alongside Mark Perry, your 3 stars. Luke Posthumus, 2 goals. Our player to watch tonight, he was fantastic. Jaden Lobo, his first career OHL goal on a 4-point night for that young man. And our first star is Jaden Cholette. Fantastic effort tonight from the new face for the Oshawa Generals. And ladies and gentlemen, he's at ice level with our own Isaac Carmichael.
Here with Jaden Cholette of the Oshawa Generals, first career victory here in the Ontario Hockey League. Just traded here a week ago for a draft pick to the Oshawa Generals. It's been a whirlwind of a start of a season for you, Jaden. How's it feel to get the first one under your belt?
It feels amazing. Like obviously the nerves were coming in at first, but I trusted my warm-up routine, and it turned out great for me.
Really good first period from you tonight. 40-plus save effort here, only giving up the 1 goal. What was working for you here tonight? Were you just able to track the puck well and see it well all night long?
Yeah, I was just eyes on the puck the entire time, neck down, and it made my job easy, and the fellas for sure helped me for sure.
Tough start to the season, 0-2 start. What was the mentality in the dressing room heading into tonight's game to get the 2 points?
We were confident in ourselves, like 0-2 start, you know, like it always happens to everyone. So our mentality was just keep working hard in practice, keep following our coach's systems, and everything will go great for us.
All right, thank you so much, Jerry, and best of luck. Congratulations on the first of hopefully many wins here in the Ontario Hockey League.
Thank you so much.
All right, well, that does it here at the Sleeman Center. Tough effort here for the Guelph Storm. They dropped 2 points here on this Friday night, but for the Oshawa Generals, behind an amazing performance from their netminder, Jaden Chalette, and he'll be a name to remember here for Oshawa, at least for this season. For Ryan Jury, for Mark Perry, for Ryan Manahan, and the entire Rogers TV crew, that does it for us here on this Friday night. We'll see you next week when the Guelph Storm host the Saginaw Spear. Until then, take care.